No, y'all, that's not my real voice. Cigar Hound Dog, DJ from Pick Jimmy, Master Your Ash, John from Cigar Alchemist, EKB from The Vintage Cigar.
What you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything?
Thanks for tuning into the big broadcast, the bad broadcast. And now, the New Wave presents the infamous Smoke Show.
And we're live.
Woo.
What's up,
What's
everyone?
going on, guys?
What is up?
What's
Thanks
going on?
for joining us, and thanks to the Human Suplex Machine, Taz, for coming on with us. Man,
My pleasure. I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you much,
bro.
Yeah,
I'm so pumped to have you on. Like when I got the message, like I saw a message in my inbox on Instagram from the Human Suplex Machine. I was like, what the hell? And this is like, you know, I grew up a wrestling fan and I was well aware of who you are. So to get like a message from Taz is insane. So Taz, thank you for coming on, man. It's a friggin' pleasure.
That's the same here. My pleasure, for sure. And like I said, I appreciate it, Matt, and all you guys having me on. I do. I've been, a cigar fan, a cigar smoker for, I don't know, north of 20 years, maybe more. But before we roll, I told you this, Matt. I know I've watched enough of these shows. I know all you dudes are here. You guys are friggin' ass. Don't fucking eat me up here, okay? Cigars, I smoke good cigar. I don't know what filler, what's in Connecticut, what's in Honduras, what's in DR. So don't give me that shit, because I'm gonna know, all right?
All right. Well, we won't give you shit. We'll give you shit. Just, you like good cigars. Like from what you've told me, from what you like to light up, like right there, the Placencia, you like good shit. So that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
I do. I've been smoked, like I said, over 20 years. Normally, I mean, I like a good stick. I don't spend some money on it here from Bob's, it's like a year and a half. Centius, I just love them. Like, I smoke Fuentes, I tour Fuentes here and there. My brother-in-law's a huge Fuente guy, so like him and I, and he's watching right now, so shout out to Dan. But he's the Fuente guy, and now he's been hitting the Placencias too. Placencias, I should say. That's kind of what I usually go to. Okay. But I like trying time and watching, a lot of you guys' individual content on, cigars and what's a good stick, what's not. I know everybody has a different palate. I'm aware of that. I over the years just getting education on YouTube from guys like you guys.
Yeah. That's thank you for finding us, and man, this is a treat. And
man,
the guy on the bottom left, Innocent.
He is the biggest. I'm sorry, somebody's about to get put in a Taz mission right now. If he's in front of me, this mother, you know what? Can I curse? Is it all right?
Of course you can curse. You've been on the show before.
This motherfucking Azplex through a motherfucking table. Like real talk.
Listen, you're from New York and Jersey now, but you live in Northeast, yep. So you maybe, I don't know how old you are, but you might have saw back in CW maybe, or just W when I was there. I don't know what.
No, I got a great story for you. So of course I grew up in New Rochelle. And Devon is from New Rochelle. So So when I was a kid, he would always go to this barbershop by the projects called the Big. And so I knew every Tuesday and Wednesday he would go up in there to get a haircut. And this is when he was with ECW. This is before he got. And I would sit there and just ask him questions. He'd be like, "Man, I wrestled with a broken back, broken hand." And I'm just like, man, how you guys deal with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is too, like Devon, and Devon had an amazing career. And for those that don't know, you're speaking of Devon Dudley of the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray Dudley, and Devon Dudley, which had massive success in ECW, everywhere they've been, TNA, but then obviously in the middle of that WWE, the Hall of Fame. Two close personal friends. I won't get deep into this, but I have a lot of them. I have a lot of stories. But yeah, it's wild that you knew Devon at a barbershop in New Rochelle. That's on point because I know how Devon is about his hair.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you have to know to have that hairline, but he always had that part in his goddamn hair, and I'm like, dude, you gotta do something with that, man.
Yeah, he now I just got to say the story. Fuck it. But like during ECW, like I was running the wrestling school on Long Island here, Paul Heyman for ECW, and this was like 19. I'm bad with years, but it was probably like 95, maybe not. No, probably 96, something like that. And we started this gimmick, this storyline with these guys called the Dudley Boys, and what it was a spinoff. Many of you guys probably heard of Raven, who was a very successful wrestler.
Yeah.
Also, Raven and I, we were in actually Tampa, Florida, and we've just done wrestling on this show for ECW at the fairgrounds in Tampa, and we're just in the locker room putting our shit on to go to the hotel, and we just start shooting the shit, talking, saying it'd be funny if there was a gimmick for like a pro wrestler, not a retired pro wrestler, a guy that was a journeyman that wrestled all over the country and world, but he impregnated all these different women on the road, right? And he had all these and of all these different nationalities. So that's kind of how. And the Dudley thing, it was a funny thing, a comedy. So there was all different types of Dudleys of Dudley. It didn't matter if it was a Dudley or an Asian Dudley or a Native American Dudley, Caucasian. So that's kind of how the Dudley thing. And it was the real inspiration for Raven and I when we talked was, remember the movie Slapshot, the Hanson brothers. I don't know if you guys remember, like the three dudes with the glasses, right?
Yeah.
That's the Dudleys wore the glasses with the white tape. So back to fast forward real quick, make a long story long here. Devon, when I was running school, my former trainer from back in the day, a guy named Johnny Rods, he trained Devon, but years after me. And he told me about this Devon guy. And then I said, Long Island, I'll work out with him, and I'll work out with him in the ring. We'll see how good he is. Fuck, man. I got on the phone. I called the boss, said, man, this guy's a Dudley. This is fucking great. And the rest is history. So it was because he was so damn good. So when you met Devon, it brings me back to thinking about that, But I'm sorry.
Now, I was going to say, like, I found out for one thing. So one of my favorite matches was you and Bam Bam Bigelow. And you had Bam Bam in the Taz mission, and Bam Bam goes back, and you guys go through the stage, and the match ends like that. And I'm at home at like 1 o'clock in the morning, like, it can't end like this. It can't end like this.
There was two times we went. I don't know what you mean. One we went through the stage that was in Ohio, and one we went through that was in Asbury Park, New Jersey. So I'm not sure which one you're referring, but God rest big soul. He was an amazing competitor and a mean guy, a great father, and a great person, and he left us too sad. I was blessed to be in the ring and share the ring with him. He was an animal. He was 6'4", 360 pounds, and he was a fucking beast, man. Tough as shit.
And can move
quick, and he had quick hands too. So, a lot of people don't realize, like our business. Yes, it's a show. It's at the finish of the match is predetermined. Physicality it's legitimate. It's, I mean, we're not trying to punch each other and not trying to knock each other's teeth out. But we're, especially today, the guys today are really bringing it. They have to, because the fans are closer to the ring, high def. You can't hide anything, when you're on TV, man. So it's like guys are bringing it. My wrestles now. He's been wrestling for like 2 years, for 8. Yeah. And that's the first thing that I mentioned that he was getting trained. I said, you got to make sure you fucking bring it. You got to bring it. It's just you got to be ultra physical but professional.
So what was that conversation when you were talking to Hook? What was the conversation like where he was like, Dad, I want to go into the business?
It shocked me, bro. So for those that don't know, Hook is my son. So that's who he's speaking of. Mm-hmm. So when this was, I don't know, maybe three and a half years ago, it shocked me because he was an amazing cross player in high school and college. He was high school, an Under Armour All-American, Nike blue chip player, D1 athlete in college. Yeah. And we thought, like a lot of lacrosse guys, they go into the business world. They go into Wall Street. And he was a business major and all that, and this was during the pandemic, so he didn't want, there was like that lull of nothing was happening. So he didn't want to sit in a cubicle in Manhattan. He's more creative and athletic. And when he said it to me, it shocked me. His wife too. We were really surprised. He said, well, it's got to be you grew up in the business. You understand the industry. He's our only son. So like for years since he was little, I'd have in my house, have a mat and down on the mat. And he played judo and wrestled and everything. So he understood the physicality part, but it shocked me that he wanted to be in the business. And I'm like, well, if you're going to do it, you got to go full throttle and, you got to get trained properly. I'm so banged up. I couldn't train. So sent him down to it, and he trained with Cody Rhodes, a guy named QT Marshall at the Nightmare Fan. Because at that time everybody was in AEW. Cody is not in AEW anymore, obviously, but the rest of us are. So, he kind of got homegrown, trained within the AEW system. So, but yeah, it shocked me. Like to answer your question, but he wanted to be in the business. But I'm proud of him. He's kicking ass.
He's doing. You know what? He's learning fast. Like if you watch him 2 years ago, to now, and he has your persona as far as the look, like the seriousness, his style
too. And I didn't tell him to do that. That's what he did, and that's kind of who he is. Like what you saw with him, he's very similar to that. I guess I'm boring to some of these guys. Guys are fucking down. What's going on here?
Nah.
What's going on, man? Guys, our own guys. No, I'm joking. I'm teasing. I watched this enough that I see Mike, Master Your Ass. He dips out all the time.
Yeah.
He's got like cats and dogs running all over the place.
Michael, what are you dipping out?
Maybe it's a prostate thing. I don't know.
You're right. I'm a little offended, bro. I don't know.
I mean, you see him. He's at that old age. He's got to do a bump just to keep going.
Yeah.
You can't do it on the camera.
No, I got.
I'm teasing.
My wife is already upstairs, and my dogs are trying to get back inside. They're like, "Dude, it's too cold out."
Oh, you're in the cold. Shit, freezing my ass off. But anyway, and that's where I should be smoking a cigar. Before we went, I mentioned it.
Yeah.
I have a wooded shed that I made into a smoking room outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason why I couldn't, and I have a nice rabbit air in there, air purifier, and I've had for a couple of years. I collect mini NFL helmets and mini college football helmets. I got them all over in there, and it's really hooked up nice. And I want to do this appearance in there, but I have a Wi-Fi extender in there, and I don't think it would have worked well with doing the show, on the stream. So that's why I couldn't do it out there. But maybe in the future I can get a better Wi-Fi setup or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah. So you say you like Plasencia a lot. What's your favorite Plasencia? Because is that the Alma del Campo you're smoking right now?
Yes, sir. Yes, it is. That's my favorite one. What's this? 56 gauge ring gauge. What is that? The Sendro? Something like this is the one. Yeah. I'll do like you guys do, like when you do your fucking shows.
Look at that. Yeah.
Right.
There we go.
Not playing around.
Beautiful.
Do my homework. We're dealing with here. Yeah, that's normally like my go-to. I mean, once I still want like a brand or a style, I stay with that. I have some short smokes that I like to use, like because it's like I said, it gets cold, and if I want to go in the smoke shack in the shed, if I want to sit on the porch, you can't have too long of a smoke. So maybe a nub here and there, or something like. Like the Flying Pigs. I was smoking those Drew Estate Flying Pigs, and those were pretty good a couple years ago. They were all right. They were pretty good.
What was like the first kind of cigar that got you into it? The first brand or the first thing that you really like got attached to?
That clicked.
Monte Cristo White. I never had a
very approachable.
I was in WWE, and I worked there for like 10 years, and then my former broadcast partner Michael Cole, he was a cigar smoker, and I dipped tobacco for years. So I Copenhagen and Skull like since high school, whole wrestling career. Obviously bad habit, and then he used to dip too. He was fucking crazy. He would smoke a cigar, drink bourbon, and dip at this Wild Man. So crazy.
My kind of guy. I like it.
Wild Man.
Michael
no, thank
Cole,
you.
Bro. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, you would never think it if you saw him on TV. And you know who he is. But
Squeaky clean.
Yeah, he looks squeaky clean. So we used to do voiceovers. We were the broadcast team for SmackDown, and it wasn't live at that time. We would record the show wherever we were in the country on Tuesdays, and then we would fly on the company jet with Vince McMahon and these guys back to New York. Not because they liked were getting us back to go to the studio because we had to do like this. We called wild lines, like the stuff where if they pulled something up on a match, the commentary had a match. So we had to sit in the studio, which WWE has a beautiful studio, and we'd have to sit there sometimes, dude, no fucking like 3, 4 in the morning, just lines. Wow. So Cole would have like a bag of cigars, and like he's like, just try, I might like it, and then that was it. That's how I got hooked on it.
That is so cool.
Yeah, true.
That is so cool, man.
So so I'm sorry.
No, you got good.
So you know Gene Snitsky?
Of course, yeah. I haven't talked to him in years, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So you know the big tall guy, the Muay Thai guy by the name of Matty Rock, used to hang with him all the time.
Yeah, I don't know him that well, but I have met him. I do know who you're talking about.
Matty was a big cigar guy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Matty works for Drew Estate.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Oh, minute. Because some dude, hold on a second, some guy 6 or 7 years ago sent me a bunch of boxes of flying pigs and like hooked me up. Yeah. He was a bigger dude with a beard. Was that him?
Matty Rock.
Probably. Yeah. Probably.
That's my boy Matty.
He didn't tell me he knew Snitch. Just like I thought he was just like a kind of wrestling fan and stuff like that. But that's the guy.
Him and Gene are like this. Him, Gene, fucking he just passed his. He just passed. Wrestler just passed. He was a booker. He was the
Kevin
Sullivan. Matt
Sullivan was my, not to interrupt you. He was one of my major mentors, like in the early '90s. Like Kevin was a dear friend of mine. He helped me so much. My career.
Matty and Kevin were close, and his son Andrew is very close to Matty too.
I didn't know any of that, dude. So you learn something every day. That's fucking cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
right, awesome. Does he still work for Drew Estate?
Yeah, he's still with him.
He's still with him. Sticks, bro. I'm trying to get hooked up.
Listen, man.
Why not?
You come out to Newark, and I'll make something happen. All right.
Well, I gotta come strapping. I ain't coming to Newark. I've been to Newark, bro. Hey, listen. I've been to Uniondale a couple of times. I know what's going on over there. Yeah. Enough said.
I know you guys making fun of where I'm born.
Oh really? Oh my god.
I was born in Broadway.
No, no kidding. Wow. Yeah. No shit.
Basically, the hospital, the state prison, and then that's it. My dad was at GM in Newark for 25 years.
Wow, that's small world. That's wild.
Yeah.
Well, Vegas. You're in Vegas now, so a lot better weather, obviously.
I mean, all things.
If you like hot and windy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I wouldn't mind living in Nevada, in Arizona. That my body's so beat up. So like weather, it kind of aches my joints. And I was telling Matt, and that's why I was. Some of you know I was supposed to come on. I don't know how that was that like weeks and weeks ago.
Yeah, like a month and a half ago. So somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, I had total knee replacement surgery.
Wow.
5 weeks ago. Yeah, weeks ago, which was a huge operation, but it was bone on bone, and it's been horrible for a long time. And I travel a lot with AEW every week in airports, and it was fucking brutal. So I couldn't smoke for like weeks, meds, and with the surgery you can't do that and shit. You can't smoke or dip or whatever. So I couldn't come on, but the knee replacement thing, I mean, I'm recovering. I do a lot of physical therapy now, like 3 days a week. I do a lot of home therapy too, but you got to really work out that prosthetic and the quad and all that. Anybody out there like I was always nervous to get done, but I'm only 5 weeks out of it. If you need it, get it done because
do it.
I already feel relief, and the arthritis is just gone. It's nice.
How long were you dealing with like the repercussions of like needing a knee replacement? Like how long were you feeling like you had issues?
I would say five. And what I did was I had every kind of PRP. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that is. It's when they kind of take your own blood out of you. They spit and inject it back in you. Joint. It helped a little bit. I had stem cells many times from all different locations. That didn't help. The only thing that helped me, and this was about maybe 5 or 6 years ago, once the knee was really, really bothering me, was this stuff called Synfis. So it's like this. It looks like it looks like marshmallow juice, like that thick white in a giant syringe. Doctor's like, look, it's gonna hurt. And when he injected in the joint, and I had to get it like 3 weeks in a row, like once a week. And dude, I got like 2 years relief. That shit worked. Once it wore off, I wanted to get more. And he said, we'll do it again, but you're not the same results. And he was right. The doctor, I tried everything. I'm 57, right? So I wanted to wait. I told my wife I wanted to wait till I was like 65 to get the replacement. I just couldn't wait. My quality was just brutal. I just couldn't go to work. I couldn't walk in an arena backstage. I couldn't walk in airports, and it's like, you go to make a connection flight. Like I got too much pride to get wheeled around. I'm just not going to do that, So whatever. I got my own fucking issues, right? So fucking venting here. It's like a psychiatry session.
That's what cigars are. Hey, it's a therapy, man. Cigars are therapy.
Very true,
man.
Yeah.
So Taz, obviously you're tough dude. You were a hard hitting wrestler. Was there ever a cigar that kicked your ass starting out?
Yeah. One word and one letter. Opus X. So
okay.
Shit. Really? I'm gonna tell you, well, because I was still new to cigars. And then there was another. Okay, glad you asked that question. Okay, John, that was John, right?
Yeah.
So the first time I had an Opus, I was dread hard, just smoking it like. I probably was smoking cigars for like 2 months at that point, and it was like, holy fuck, it got me. Then maybe a year later, we did a couple of shows in the UK, and I had a day off in London. And it was my birthday. So, and I was off the show. Everybody else was at the show. So right near my hotel was a nice cigar. I'm like, I can get a Cuban here. So this place is my birthday. I figure I'll get a little bourbon. I'll celebrate by myself. It's all good. I walk in this fucking cigar shop in London. I don't remember the name of the place. It was years ago. And they have this lady sitting middle of the fucking cigar shop, giant humidor was. And she's fucking rolling cigars, Cubans cigars, and they would roll wanted. And I said, just give me a big ring, whatever, 62 with 6 inches. It took me like 2 hours to smoke the fucking thing, and I felt like I got hit by a bus. Knocked the shit out. Man, it was potent, but it was smooth, but it was heavy. So. Opus X and whatever you want to call that Cuban. There was no label on it. She was just rolling the shit,
Yeah, fresh roll. It definitely had some nicotine in there, that's for sure. That's what gets you. When a cigar is smooth, you can smoke it faster. Even though it's smoked for 2 hours, you're probably enjoying it, pretty consistently. And that's what gets you, is like, it's a smooth cigar. Just because it's smooth doesn't mean it doesn't have a lot of nicotine.
Correct.
So what about you guys?
And three glasses of Woodford wasn't hurting either. So that's cool.
Yeah,
that'll do it. That'll do it.
Yeah. What were you asking, Nino?
But now I was asking what cigar knocked you on y'all ass?
When I was,
that can't be the only one over here saying his trauma stories of cigars that whooped his ass.
Hey, I'll jump in. When I was starting out, we had this old guy who, just imagine the old crusty grumpy guy who owns a cigar shop. And so, his way of entertaining himself was torturing and hazing new cigar smokers. So he tricked me into smoking a Christoph, the double Ligero. Wow. And I was spinning, dude. That was one of these, that was like, it was like worse than a hangover, you don't
forget it. When that happens, you don't forget it. It hits you. Yeah.
So I came back and I was like, what the hell he was laughing his ass off. He's like, all right, now let me show you what you should be smoking. I was like, you're an asshole, man. Like, what the hell?
I mean, honestly, John, it's light work, man. It's light work.
Yeah. I mean,
You got the natural. LFD. Is that the natural?
This is the Legrand Ligero.
Okay.
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah,
nice.
It's a natural, but it's Legrand Ligero.
Oh, the Aura. Okay. How's that Aura going, John?
It's good, man. It's smooth. So yeah, I'm liking it.
I think the last cigar that put me on my ass was a Kahonu, the Tatuaje Kahonu 2015. It's like a 5x58, or it's a fatter cigar. That thing, I was sweating like that. Like, one of the things was with nicotine, nicotine sickness, I just start sweating profusely. It was not a comfortable experience at all. And then when you stand up after you're done, it's like, whoa, it's there. It's there.
Yeah.
So Opus X isn't considered like a potent cigar. Maybe because I was newer. It's not a pretty potent cigar.
Yeah, maybe it's probably because you're new. But
probably right.
I mean, they're pretty strong though. Like, depending, especially 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Years ago, like,
good point.
They were really strong.
Yeah.
Because they put me through a loop. But I mean, like, these did too back in the day. The DL series, like, that was the only time that I ever fell asleep before I was able to finish my food. Like, at a cigar shop. I had to go get a sandwich, and I just fell asleep 2 days before Christmas, right in the cigar shop for about 20 minutes.
That's tremendous. That's great. I never heard a story like that. I love that.
It took me out. Yeah, I went to Jersey Mike's Subs of all places. It gets even more ironic. Jesus.
Not exactly the best fucking cold cuts. You know what I mean?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I got put out by the Davro layout. I'm 0-3 against that motherfucking cigar.
Really?
Yeah.
The late hour got you.
Yo, the late man. Listen, that had me slumped. I was in sound just like this,
like in Churchill as well,
like in the chair. Just
what size?
Yeah,
what size?
Russo or Churchill?
The Churchill. Yeah, man.
Okay, Churchill.
That's a lot.
Yo, I came back. I came back 2 months later. I came back 2 months later talking some shit. I'm like, I'm gonna finish it this time, man. I got all the way down to maybe about 3/4 through, and I felt it creep up. I said, "Oh no!"
How did you because you guys went up to Legacy Club when you were out here for Big Smoke a couple of weeks ago, right? How'd you like Legacy Club?
It was popping. You know what? I gotta apologize, Mike, because you came up and everything was happening so fast that I couldn't really just chop it up with you, man.
Man, you're all good.
Yeah, but Legacy Club was popping. Like
Legacy Club's nice, man.
Yeah,
Legacy
especially
Club,
like
for
up there, you get
for
the
anybody
whole
visiting
view.
Vegas, man.
Yeah.
It is. You get the whole view of the city.
Whole
You
view
get
of
to
the
smoke
city.
cigars. You go indoor, outdoor, and the bar is really nice too.
You know what? I love old Vegas because old Vegas reminds me of old Times Square.
Mm-hmm.
Like Times Square now to me is shitty.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
too
like,
commercial.
No, well, it's not that. It's not like back in the day. It had all those bright lights. It had like the bright lights from Virgin Music Store. You know, now everything is like LED screens.
Right.
So
no, you're exactly right. Yeah.
You know, like it doesn't have that same pop or aura that it used to have.
It's not seedy enough.
Yeah, it's
too bright. It's different kind of brightness.
Yeah. You know, like
you need to do a live stream for your 4th attempt. You need to let everyone watch that. It's got to be the Churchill again.
Yeah.
But it's got to be with Sanj at the store, though. Because
talking shit,
heckling the shit out of you the entire time.
I know. He always got something to say, man. Like
I was trying to help out too. I was passing you shirts, all kinds of stuff. Like, I was trying to help out.
Like you see, like everybody was there. Like it was a crazy experience because the first day was chaos. Like Sanj had the longest line out of everybody.
Yeah,
you know, like longer than Fuente's line.
And you know what? To be honest, there weren't a lot of like really big names on that little strip before you got to Sanj because a lot of times at Big Smoke, all of the people just line up and they just go one, just like down the line. And with Sanj, he was at the end of the line on that second row, and there wasn't really like a ton of really big brands in terms of like Tatuaje, Illusione. They were all out the other side. Fuente had their own booth. JC Newman had their own booth off to the side. Like, and not to throw any shade at any of the other brands, but like it was really like Sanj.
Yeah,
and that whole entire row was.
They were all cutting off everybody else. So it was like you had Oliva, you had Oliva, you had CLE, and everybody's like cutting them off to give the tickets for the shirts.
Yep.
So
and Sanj was doing shirts, stickers. He had all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah. Listen, man, you got to know what. So me and Sanj are walking to the bathroom because you know like Sanj needs security. You know.
Yeah, you guys go to the bathroom together. That's cute.
Yeah.
You say it, bro. It's all good. You're amongst friends.
So we go to the bathroom and you know, Carlito's there and he's there fucking yo, Paulie, what up, kid?
What up, Marvin?
Yeah, so he goes up and he's there shaking everybody's hand. He sees Sanj, he goes, Sanj. Tells everybody to hold on, goes over to the side, and is talking to Sanj for like 10 minutes. And everybody's looking like, yo, who the fuck is this fucking, you know, who's this Indian guy that fucking, is he want to rock this?
Right.
You know?
So did you get to go to the bathroom?
No, yeah, fucking after having to hold it for like fucking 15 minutes.
Oh, fuck.
I've never been all the years smoking cigars at any of these cigar shows, and I've always wanted to. I've never done. I'm like a low key guy, you know. So it's like I've always wanted to. I just never have.
You know what the thing is that you know if you go, somebody's gonna recognize you, and then another person gonna recognize you. Yeah. You know, and it's like,
yeah.
Are you Taz?
It happened like a cigar. There's a really good cigar shop in the town I live. It's only about 4 miles. I never go in there. And one thing I went in, I feel like there'd be nobody in there. And there's two guys in there, and of course they're both huge fucking wrestling fans. Yeah. And now the guy buys a cigar. He wants to. I gotta sit and have a cigar. I'm there for like an hour. And a half. My wife's sorry, you guys. We had to go somewhere. I'm like, I know I'm going to go with this fucking guy. I don't even know. So I didn't want to be a jerk to the guy. The guy was very nice. Sure. And it's I'm not. You know, I'm not like it's not like I get recognized all the time. But a lot of I don't know why it seems like a lot of cigar fans are like wrestling fans or like UFC fans or you know MMA fans. I mean, so I guess it's a little bit of a weird.
Yeah.
It's cigars are, you know, to a lot of people, they can be like a hyper masculine thing. you know, and like wrestling, combat sports, UFC, boxing, it all fits into that, you know. It just it is what it is.
Yeah.
And Taz, have you had any of Sanjay's cigars? Have you tried anything from him?
No, I'm not. I'm familiar with what he is. Who he is. No, I have not. No.
I'll take care of you. I'll take care of you, Taz.
All right. Okay. Yeah, no, I haven't. He was on this right, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a couple of times.
I watched one recently. I saw Jonas Santana from Blackbird.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I never met the guy. I never had him, and he was a great interview. He was a great guest. I enjoyed watching.
He's cool.
But it made me laugh because he was talking about how flying. I'm like, bro, flying. This guy, he don't know about flying. He was saying he flew like 70 times in 1 year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm a million miler with 3 fucking airlines.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Damn.
3 airlines.
I'm not happy about it.
So, yeah, right.
That just means I'm not home. I'm not home a lot, you know.
Yeah.
So you're probably at the point like whenever you have to travel, it is strictly work. Like it is not like, oh, I get to go to this city, I get to see London, I get to do that. It's dollar signs. It's work.
Is. Because we're doing a lot of those, and then there's a lot of sound checks, or we heard as an announcer. I'm talking not a wrestler, as an announcer. Mm-hmm. Like my son now, him traveling the world, he gets to enjoy, you know, because wrestle you don't have all those obligations. Rehearsal, there's no sound checks, there's meetings.
Yep.
As a commentator, I'm in all those fucking meetings.
Mm-hmm.
A 9 a.m. production meeting on the road. Like we were in Vegas recently. We were there for not during the summer, during like Memorial Day. And we 6 days for one big pay-per-view we did. And I had no time to do anything because we had meetings, constant meetings, production meetings, and there's stuff called agent meetings where it's like an agent is like the coach of whatever match. So, you know, if I'm wrestling, you know, John, okay, Matt is the agent. So it's like a coach on the match, you know. Mm-hmm. Announcers, we have to meet with those guys. You know what I mean? Like, but the wrestlers, they're free and clear to do their thing. You know what I mean? So I don't have time like on the road to do shit, and I kind of chill in my room when I do, ordering cigars at me or find cigars, and I'll go out and have a cigar and shit like that at the hotel normally. That's what I'll normally do.
How is Cody's and my man from Frankie Frankie Kazarian. Yeah. How are they cigars? The American Nightmare cigar.
Not bad, pretty good. I thought they were good. I don't know if they're still together. Something American Rebel, I think it was called.
Yeah, American Rebel.
Yeah. I will tell you, like I've smoked a lot of cigars of both those guys, especially Cody. Cody's they both are big cigar guys, Frankie and Cody. A lot of cigars we've smoked together at hotels. They're not just their cigars, like, you know, whatever brand, like guys who just bring bags. Especially during the pandemic, we were working a lot. The company's based in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, owner of AEW is one of the owners of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So
Shad
we're
Khan.
based.
Shad
Khan's son, his son Tony Khan owns AEW. During the pandemic, we were always in Jacksonville because we had to do shows. We have a contract with our TV partner. So even though we had no audience, but next to the Jaguar Stadium, they have like an amphitheater. So it's kind of an outdoor indoor type thing. So we were doing our tapings there with no crowd. So we were there every week, staying at the same hotel, just chopping up cigars, you know, and it was just a great bonding time. All those months, a bunch of us together, like Cody and Frankie, like you were just saying. So but you know, that's the thing with our business. Guys leave a company you're in all the time. Like you could work with a guy for 4 or 5 years on the road with him, train with him, drink, smoke a cigar with him, have meals with him, your own wife and kids. And then boom, their contract ends and they go to another company and it's like, hey, bro, see you down the road. You see the guy for like 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
It happens all the time when your guys just leave. You know, part of the business, just part of the culture. You know.
Yeah. And that's the tough part because you know, it was one thing for like, especially like for you guys in ECW, like, you know, it was you guys were, it was going to, I don't want to be disrespectful when I say this, but it was considered going to the big time when you were going to either Georgia or New York because you were getting a bigger audience
and more money.
yeah. So
it's paycheck, bigger paycheck.
It's not an insult. It's a fact. What you're saying, you're correct. How it was back then. You know, ECW we were a cult. Like we had like a cult following, and we were kind of a niche. We were regional, but not regional because we had pay-per-view and shit like that. And we were working not just in the Northeast, we were working all over the place. But it was when I went to WWE ECW, it definitely be like it's definitely a much bigger pond that you're in. You know, it's a massive machine, just like AEW is now. Now, I mean, back then there was no AEW, but you know, there is a difference, obviously. But you know, a lot of experience at that point. When I left ECW, I had like 14, 15 years experience. So the wrestling's wrestling. So to me, don't matter what company you're in, square, and you do your fucking match. That's simple. You know, it's a match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it was definitely a big difference. You know, when I left ECW, I'd done everything I could do in ECW at that point. I was blessed. I won every title, you know, so I was very blessed, my success there. But I just wanted to go, you know, to a bigger company. I wanted to be able to take a shower sometimes after I wrestled. Like a lot of buildings we were in ECW were fucking gritty, you know, with fucking showers, you know, so we, of course, shit. So gets to a point I want to fucking wash my ass after a match, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You scared off Michael again.
Mike bailed out once he heard that.
You scared Mike. You scared
Time
him
for another
again.
Yeah.
I got to show this off real quick. Look at this thing, man.
Oh, look at that.
That's beautiful.
Hey, Taz, can I get one New Jack story?
Very nice. Very nice.
Let me just think. And he was crazy, you know, he did some crazy stuff, you know, and he's no longer with us, obviously, but he was a one. I mean, passionate. He was passionate about the business, passionate about his craft. He was a different type of performer, you know, did a lot of crazy stuff.
A lot.
You know, I got into it with him once in a lot. We almost got into a fight.
Okay.
He got into a fight with a few guys.
Yeah.
But the way it is, like in wrestling, especially back then, you and I could get into it and basically throw hands, and they break it up, and then an hour later we're at the bar having a beer, and it's like we fucking move on. You can't hold the grudge because our business is based on trust.
You gotta make money together. Listen,
you got to because you got to get in the ring with this guy, and you're gonna fucking you can't get that you're gonna go at a guy legitimately. Because that's how you don't get booked. That's how you lose. That's how you lose your job. You know, the biz built on trust. So, New Jack and I've always got along, and then we had a little issue. I had an issue with him in the locker room because he was getting into a fight with a guy right by the entrance of the wrestler, and my music was so I had to get through these guys in this guy's fight while my music's playing, and I'm like, fuck out of the way. And he got pissed at me and like pushed me. And now we're throwing fucking hands at each other. And I'm getting ready to go, oh shit. So it's like, and then it's like, you know, they're like, you gotta go, you know, because everything's timed. Like, you know, if you wrestle a guy, it's like you're allotted whatever, let's say 7 minutes. Yeah. That entrance, his entrance, and the finish. So the longer I'm backstage this guy and fighting with him, you know, it's cutting the budget of my time and I'm in the ring, you know. So I got some grief for that, but and I worked it out and everything was cool, you know. He was a different type guy, but he was passionate. You know, he's passionate. He loved the business. He loved ECW, and you know, he was all right. He was cool.
Yeah, I always considered the pillars were like you, Dreamer, Sabu. You know, like I turned into a huge Mike Awesome fan. That was my guy.
I love Mike. Yeah, Mike Awesome. Mike was a very quiet guy, big monstrous guy. A lot of guys didn't know him that well. I got along with Mike. Some guys didn't. He's another guy who's no longer with us.
Yeah,
you know,
really. Oh my god, that sucks.
Well, it's a lot of wrestlers, from my generation that are gone. Because during that time, I'm not passing judgment on anyone, but during that time, a lot of guys we were a lot on the road a lot, and a lot of guys had some issues and stuff like that, and had some problems, and it was really tough then. Guys were on the road more than guys are on the road. These guys don't work as much as we did, which is because they could take care of their bodies, and pain pills were like a big thing just to keep working. Because back then, if you didn't work, you didn't get paid. Now you have a guaranteed contract. You're not working as much. So it's a better business now. Otherwise, I would have wanted myself to get in it. Like I don't even think. Thank God, I don't even think pain pills is a thing anymore, because you'll lose your job. Tested, and guys just don't do that. These fucking guys now, they might smoke some weed and drink White Claws, and that's partying to them. So
whatever floats your boat.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
it's great. Nothing wrong with it. No.
To Cornette, and Cornette tells the story about being on the road in the 80s and being around like Ming and him like taking the mace to the face and eating it and just beating the cops up in that town and getting out of town before they get you. Like
a lot of that shit. That's a true story, by the way. For a fact, it's a true story. Well, that shit happened back then. It was just, it was like the boys. We call it the boys. The guys. It was like renegades, because we were on the road so much. Company you worked for you were getting paid nightly or weekly, whatever. So it's like, and you're away from your family. Like it's a tough. It was a very tough life.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's much better now. Yeah, guys.
Well, they say
and they're making a lot more money now. A lot more money. So
yeah.
Was especially Tony. Tony's paying his guys.
No comment.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I'm
joking.
Yeah.
He is, and he is. He's taking care of guys. He's about the guys, and he takes care. He understands, just like WWE understands. Yeah. There's such a short window, guys, to make money in this business as a wrestler. Your window's very short, equivalent to a NFL player. You know what I mean? And they're making a lot of guys. In the business, NFL guys, and they deserve it. An NFL player, their career could end one play. We all know that. Yep. Same with a hockey or even an NBA player, and two baseball players. So, pro athletes, like pro wrestlers, we're kind of like a hybrid of a stuntman, an actor, and an athlete. So that's kind of we're in that weird world, But your career here. Seen guys' careers end in one match. I broke my neck in '95. I was able to come back, but I thought I was fucked, like done.
Yeah.
And I was young. Yeah. I just got married. It's a tough game. The business is tough.
I can't lie to you. I wish you would have I wish you would have went up north like 4 years earlier, because I feel like you would have really, you'd have been.
Thing with me is, like a lot of people say from back then, like when I signed with WWE debuted in 2000, right? So, a lot of people thought WWE did him wrong. Like this guy was on the trajectory to be a world champion there or something like that. They didn't do me wrong. It allowed me to segue into a whole new color commentator to this day, which helped me become a podcaster. And I worked for CBS Sports Radio as a sports host, a sports radio guy. Done all that stuff because of the opportunity many years ago WWE gave me, because I was getting older when I was wrestling there, and I was banged up. I had a lot of injuries. And Vince McMahon, he's the one who said, we think you got the gift of gab and you could do this commentary thing. I'm like, I didn't want to do it. I'm like, I don't think I could. I've never done that in my life. He goes, no, we're going to train you. We're going to teach you. You don't live far from the studio. We'll have you there and get you a bunch of reps. And that's what they did. So a lot of fans think, oh, man, they did wrong. They didn't do Taz wrong. They gave Taz a whole new career. Fuck that. No. And I left on my terms. I never got fired. I left because I needed a new coat of paint. I was there 10 years. I had to get out. Yeah. I have no ill, even though I work for AEW and I love work for AEW, but I have nothing against WWE. They gave me a great opportunity.
Is was get back to cigars. Was Vince McMahon a cigar guy? I picture him as a guy who would just pick up like the biggest, fattest Maduro, even though he had never smoked cigar, and just like chew on it as like a power play.
Yeah.
In like,
I could see all of that too, and I did ask Vince once if he, because you guys, well, one of you guys might notice. I'm 99% sure he was on the cover years ago of Cigar Aficionado. I believe, or they did a story on him. If he wasn't on the cover, they did a big story on him. And I asked him if he's a cigar guy. He goes, well, a little bit. He just, he's a casual cigar guy.
Yeah,
He, his like the next morning, it's just my breath. I said, Vince, you brush your teeth. Who gives a fuck? I mean,
right.
But that was his thing. Like the next morning, he didn't like the taste the next morning. So if a guy says he's not a cigar guy, right? Let's be honest. So. But that's kind of what he's saying as we're sitting on his fucking Learjet, So, his son Shane McMahon, he's a little bit more guy because I was just telling someone the story. When H married Stephanie, I was at the wedding. Most of us were there, all the guys, and at the end of the wedding, they gave out a bunch of cigars. They had cigars of Fonseca, and they had some Fuentes. I don't remember which one. No, it was 20-something years ago. So they were giving out cigars, and Shane was chain smoking cigars. So I guess he's more of a cigar guy. So
that's cool.
Like I see like you, Farouk, Ron Simmons, and Bradshaw in the back having beers, just smoking cigars all day.
Well, those now, Simmons. I don't think that was all. I don't think it was a cigar guy. I think JBL John was a little bit more. That was a gimmick with those guys. And they'd have dirt rockets, bro. They would get them these cigars, because they gave. And I went outside and I smoked it. I smoked like 3 drags and threw it under the production truck and went back outside. It was horrible. When you get the cigar with no label on it,
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That's funny. So what's the best cigar you've ever had? Like, what's your top one or
unicorn
best memory?
Tough one. Yeah. I really the Davidoff Oscuros, anything like those. I don't want to say that's the best I had. I mean that one in fact, that Cuban, whatever the fuck that was amazing. It's tough to get a unicorn. I don't know. I mean, what about you? I'd learn from you guys because you guys are the deal. All you guys.
Oh man. Matt sent me this cigar. It was a special edition of the Andalusian Bull called the Jack Schwartz version. So it was a Toro of the Andalusian Bull. That's one of the best cigars I've ever had.
No shit. Okay. All right.
That one stands out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about you guys?
I mean, there's like Cuban and non-Cubans that I've had that have really stuck out over time. But like the Edmundo Dantes, which was a regional exclusive in Cuba for Mexico way back in the day. I talked about that a lot. And then just certain brands over time that have had like really strong hits and really strong ones. I think that probably in the non-Cuban stuff, some of the ones that I've had in the best of lists, and then even like Plasencia, like the Almafuerte Sixto in the Hexagon 660, like that could be a fantastic cigar, unicorn level almost for anybody to go out and grab at any time. I think that's the beauty of it, is that there's so many cigars now in comparison to what they were 20 years ago that can be in that echelon, that like now you have more access to such great cigars. It makes it easier to get into it than it was.
Yeah. I'd say most recently for me, it was probably that White Churchill's, the Romeo.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
That thing was just so freaking amazing.
That's the best Cuban to come out in probably the last 5-6 years, in my opinion.
It's It is so delicious. And like, it's a Robusto. It's a 5x54, 5x55 Robusto, and it smokes for like 2 hours. It's a slow smoking, delicious Cuban. And I used to be one of those people that just like, they're, Cubans, they're the quality control. And it's still like the quality control compared to New World does suck, especially for what you have to pay for it, because they're at such a high premium with the hyperinflation now. But if you can find the right one and have the right access, that's the main thing, is just finding the right access. They can be phenomenal. Like it's obviously, yeah, and it's not an everyday cigar. It can't be, because of the price, because of the accessibility to it. It cannot be an everyday cigar. But for a once in a while kind of thing to really treat yourself, a phenomenal Cuban, a top tier Cuban is hard to beat.
And I mean, like some of the Atabes too that have come out, the Atabe Black, right?
Selected tobacco.
Yeah, that's another good one.
I've had a couple of the bays. They are. I have had those. Yeah, but this was a light. I don't remember the name. It was a light. Well, definitely not a Maduro. It was very light wrapper, like very light. I can't remember. I'm not
that's
familiar
most
with them, but I know them. Yeah,
that's most of
the Atabes are like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Most Atabes. Yeah.
Speaking of the Plasencia, I have a box of the Del Fuego, the Cortez.
Nice.
Oh, bro,
great cigar.
It's a great cigar. It really is. I was
just
smoke that
brown sugar.
I took this. Yeah, great. It's great. It really is. It's awesome.
Yeah,
love it. Yeah.
So Taz, are you more of like what do you enjoy most? Do you like mild, medium, bold? Like what's your? I mean, I vary. Depends on the
Habano, Connecticut.
Yeah.
What's your wheelhouse?
Right now, I hate to sound soft as I'm getting older. I'm going more on. You know where I'm going with this. I'm going more mild. I used to be a straight Maduro. Loved anything.
That's awesome.
Better. I remember like when I first smoked those CAO or Brasilia. It's like black, and it was strong.
Yeah,
and I love those. But the past probably 7-8 years, I'm going more Connecticut type. A little softer light type.
That's not soft, man. I feel like a lot of people. I mean, that's been kind of my journey. I started off like most people, mild, and then I got into the heavier stuff, and then I kind of like medium now. But lately I've been more into mild stuff than the heavier stuff too.
Okay,
so
there you go.
Yeah,
I kind of that's kind of what happened. I started off light with and then went. But like I said, now medium, I'm good. But sometimes too mild is like, it's like I'm smoking paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And thanks, that too. Like, fuck my list of cigars that I really enjoy. He was like, oh, let me just say fuck that. Cut him off real quick.
Did you get a chance to try any of the CAO Amazon Basins at all? Any of that line, Taz? With the really,
I know what you're talking. I've not. No, you suggested it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it made a list last year for me. I thought that it was really good when I tried it. And it has like a certain dark fruit plum note to it that's unlike very many cigars that are out there. Very unique flavor.
Very unique.
But I think that, as somebody that's a fan of like the darker stuff originally and now getting into more mild stuff, I think that it kind of hits like a middle ground, right? As a stick. Okay. Especially if you were a CAO Brazil fan back in the day, because I used to really enjoy those too.
Yeah. You know what I like too, and I have some of my humans from down here too. The Pappy Van Winkle.
I love that.
Yeah,
those age real well.
Yeah, man, they're really nice, and they look like they're like a super potent Maduro, but they're not. They're a nice medium, cool, chill smoke.
You're a bourbon guy.
I am. Yeah, I mean, just with cigars, I'm a lightweight. I'm not pounding the shit. Like Woodford, that kind of shit, Buffalo. But like now I'm lately I either like seltzer, like club soda, with a cigar, like something does to my palate, or just water, if and sometimes a little port wine. I know it's real like it with a cigar sometimes, but mostly it's bourbon.
Love it.
I would say, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's just, but it's a hobby, and it's like I was it was weird because after I had this surgery, I couldn't smoke out, but I had no desire. It never happened to me. And then after the 4th week out of surgery, then I'm like, I don't know if it was the medication. I don't know what it was, but I just didn't want a cigar. It was strange,
Yeah.
So.
You had a lot of shit going on, man. You had a lot of shit going on.
I think that was it. When they take a fucking saw and they saw out your fucking knee joint, and then they take concrete or cement and glue your quad muscle and your muscle to this big chunk of metal. Yeah, that's going on. Yeah.
Well, the best thing is you got it. It goes from your knee to your hip. Because once the knee goes, the hip goes right after. And my dad is going
now. So now this is what you're telling me. Now you tell me I need a hip replacement.
Hey, listen.
You're just kind of calling you old passive aggressively.
Passively aggressively.
Look, you're fucking old. It's gonna go bad.
All I'm saying is
as nicely as possible.
Shannon Sharp got 2 new hips, and Michelle seemed to be loving it. That's all I gotta say.
See, there you go. But all kidding aside, though, about the hips, God, my hips are great, and my back is great. Yeah. But to your point, Connor, most old pro wrestlers, retired wrestlers, their hips go because of the falling, constant falling. It spreads your hips, and that cartilage and that joint in there just gets fucked up. My hips are great. My knees and my shoulders are shot. And it's I don't know if it's so much wrestling. I think it was more when I was lift prime, I was lifting like a cave, real heavy, kind of train like a power lifter more than an athlete. And that's how guys train today. Wrestlers like mine. And these guys are all lean. They're all 85 pounds, 210 pounds. They're not as big as my generation was, like thick. They're built for speed. They're athletic. They're flexible. They train with functioning. Where I was trained to just lift a fucking small foreign car. Like I didn't give a shit. Well, you know what I mean?
That was the look because you wanted to be it's just my opinion. You kind of want to look intimidating because people are like, wow, that's a guy that I don't want to fuck. I don't want to fuck.
Yes. True. And true. And the thing is, like me not being tall, I'm lucky if I'm 5'9". I mean, over the years, I'm probably not. I'm probably 4'3" now. But I've landed on my head a lot, it shrinks you, but I'm this big, you know what I mean? But the thing is, like if you're in a lot of thickness, like my did, to your point, to try to be more intimidating and look the part, it does wear on joints and it wears on your body. It's actually healthy, and be told. Some of the not just pro wrestlers, guys who know how to handle themselves. Some of the guys that are 170 pounds, 190 pounds, sometimes are the toughest motherfuckers you're gonna. I've seen dudes that drop guys that are 260 with no problem. Yeah, like many times, especially as a judoka in the sort of judo, it happens all the time. Guys, it don't matter. Like people think just because someone's big, muscular, that they're tough. That's not what, in my opinion. That's not what toughness is, Toughness is how much punishment you can take and keep coming back and dish it out. That's toughness. Not in my opinion.
But I also think your moveset helped you when it came to intimidation because you were able to take these guys and literally just, even though it's what you were able to toss these guys around with all those different types of suplexes.
Correct. Yeah, and the thing is, it's technique, right? So it's the same. It's the you mentioned, like he has a similar style to my style. And he's not as heavy as I was. You don't have to be heavy. If you have technique on a throw, on any type of suplex or any type of a hip throw or shoulder throw, you need technique and footwork. The bigger the guy is, the easier it is to throw. I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth when you have proper technique.
Yeah. I come from I used to do MMA. I did it for about 10 years. And there was a guy, he was a boxer. So we had, just pure boxers that, we would cross train with them. His name was literally Apollo. And he was 142 pounds soaking wet. And he hit harder than some guys who weighed 220. And he and he was 10 times tougher than most of them too. He was like the Tasmanian devil. Anytime I had to spar Apollo, I fucking hated it. It was just like I just dreaded every sparring session with him. Like, and because he just had
you got a tooth. You lost your tooth. You got fucked. What happened to your tooth? You lost a tooth.
Hey, we're back. We're back.
Yeah. All right. Listen, John. I've done my homework here, kid. I told you.
You did. I wish I had a cooler story for the tooth, but I don't. I got plenty. I had plenty of other injuries, but yeah, that wasn't one of my MMA ones. So.
I believe it.
Baseball when you're a kid.
Yeah, dude, that's weak, man. Taz, I got another question for you. Who's a wrestler who looks real tough, but who would get his ass kicked by a Connecticut cigar?
Oh, I thought you were going to say in a fight because I wasn't going to answer that.
No.
Just rolled it.
Yeah. By a Connecticut cigar. That's a great question. Let me think of a guy that everybody would know. That I don't want to exaggerate or lie, but there's a lot of guys that you said. Who said Kurt Angle? Who said Kurt Angle? Kurt Angle?
I did.
Kurt Angle? Let me tell you about Kurt.
No, he's tough. I've heard he's tough as hell. He broke it. He won a gold medal with a broken neck.
Broken neck. Yeah.
Let me just tell you.
Kurt is a man. What?
Do not fuck with Kurt. I promise you. That's a bad man. Yeah. So Kurt and I used to when I was with him, we traveled together for about 8 months all over the country and the world. We were driving partners. We just became good friends. And I trained with Kurt. Well, I tried to keep up with Kurt. Like he would go in the gym, and I am not bullshitting, guys. He would stay in the gym as far as lifting, maybe 25 minutes, if that. But the most intense, insane 5 minutes, I would run and just fucking vomit. Like it was insane. Like the guy is, when you are an Olympian, nevertheless a gold medal in that sport.
Wrestling's a boy.
You're a freak. You're a freak. You know, it's you. So Kurt, now we would drive, and I told you, I used to dip, and Kurt used to dip, and we would go through of Skull, like take a 300-mile drive. That dude, a Connecticut cigar, he could chew that motherfucker. He would lip that thing. I mean, I'm telling you, Kurt. I thought one of you guys mentioned Kurt, like said Kurt Angle. Maybe I'm hearing things, but no, Kurt, not Kurt. I don't know who. I mean,
because the only reason I say Kurt Angle because Kurt seems like a guy that is like, you know, a non-smoker, you know, his body's a tick because of the car.
Squeaky clean. Yeah.
You know, cardio aspect of things.
No, if he's dipping like that, probably not.
Yeah. He's right now is in amazing shape. He's obviously retired, but he still looks amazing. Yeah. He's banged up a lot. But I talk about people's what I want to say, like I know a lot of things, right? But Kurt is in a great place the past probably 10, maybe 50 of his life with his health.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot about the business, the traveling, how it used to be and how hard it is. Man, I've seen business take guys that are squeaking and are church-going guys and all these great things, milk and say your prayers, train your ass off, blah, blah, blah. And the business just chews them up and they become a menace. It's sad. Yeah. I mean, I've seen it happen. And I'm not saying that's Kurt, but I'm saying I've seen that happen. The business back then was cruel to your body and your mind, you know? So it was not to be negative or be down here. I'm just being honest, you know, like,
sure.
But I'd love to give an answer on how we'll get the ass kicked by a Connecticut cigar. I don't, John, I gotta think on that one, bro.
You're all good.
Maybe Paul Heyman, fuck him and get his ass.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer. I love that answer.
I don't think Paul's ever had us, to be honest with you. I don't have to. So yeah, Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's my answer.
All right. Hey, give him an open sec. See how he does.
Yeah. Like Paul to me went to with Roman in the last 4 years, like 4 or 5 years, his mic skills, and even ECW, his mic skills were amazing. But his mic skills are second to none.
Well, no, he's the best in the business. He's been arguably the best talker in the business for 25, 30 years. I mean, even when he was 20 years old, working in Memphis in a regional promotion manager. With a microphone. He was him and Cornette were our greatest talkers of all time, but that's what they got paid for.
Yeah,
to be great talkers. You know, you put a guy who's a great talker, especially back then. Then you put a man who's a great talker with a wrestler who's not. Because you want to kind of hide. Everyone has shortcomings as an athlete or a performer, so you want to protect that talent. You know, so you put a manager, guy or girl, that speak well, and guys like Paul Heyman or Jim Cornette and a bunch of other managers. But Paul, in my opinion, he's the best talker in the game, no doubt.
Like, to me, it was Heenan was up there, and then Paul just he did
it up
with him.
He did,
and Lesnar.
Yeah, absolutely, and and the talking thing, like it's one of the hardest things to do in the business, you know, because people think you get handed a script. You know, most places don't hand you a script. You know, you get bullet point, and a lot of times it's just verbally said. I want you to hit this note, hit this note, hit this note, okay? and you got 2 minutes or whatever. You got 4 minutes, whatever the hell it is. You know, so you got to make that's. They give you a couple of ingredients, and you got to make the stew. I mean, some wrestlers, especially when I was in WWE, they want their stuff written out, literally per word.
Wow.
Not a lot of guys, a few guys that and they would miss it. You know, I was never like that. Neither I know Paul's not like that, but I was never like that. I just needed some bullet points, and I wanted to make it my own. You know. But the talking thing as a pro wrestler is one of the last to master. It takes years. It does. It's a fucking tough thing. It's not easy, you know, because there's a time restraint. A lot of people don't realize there's time. Everything's timed. It's a live TV show, so everything is budgeted. You know, the match is budgeted. The promos, the mic is, you know, it's all budgeted. So if you go over a minute in your match, then the next affected. They got to take a minute from that match. It's simple math, you know. And that TV wrestling today. That's
I can't lie. If I had to go out there and cut a promo in front of all those people, I think I would be like homeboy from 8 Mile, just sitting there, just frozen.
It's hard, dude. It's hard. I mean, you know, it's hard. But I think all you guys could go out there with a mic in front of 15,000 people and talk about cigars for 10 minutes. That'd be easy for you guys.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a similar thing where you have some bullet points that you've read up on the cigar. Like you always talk about the first third, second third, the construction, the flavor, where it comes from, who made it, so on and so forth. And then we each individually have our own style where we turn it into whatever we turn it into. But I think that it still takes a lot of practice too. You know, like even when I look back at, I know that Cigar Hound Dog's probably up there at about 400, 500 reviews at this point. I think that I have a little bit over half that, you know, and it's like you look at some of those videos and you're like, shit, that was
rough.
That was dog shit back in the day. Like, rough.
I know what you mean. Even in my watches of when I was younger, it was like, oh my God, I can't even watch this. It's the shit. This is horrible. Same, because we evolve, right? We all, no matter what profession you're doing, what your hobby is, you evolve, right? Reps get, you know, and that's what it is. You guys all do great shit on all your individual platforms. So I mean, you know, I just don't understand like how some of you could just be like I want a little fucking bacon bits and some lettuce and this, and then I taste. I'm being sarcastic, but you know what I mean. Like you fucking
can't be that sarcastic for some people.
Cigar Hound Dog is like, well, I'm tasting kind of a waffle cone with a little bit of rainbow sprinkles here. It's amazing. I'm bugging out.
In my brain, somehow it adds up. I don't know how, but it somehow does, man.
Yeah, Matt's in California, so he's on shrooms every time he does a video. It's okay. He's tasting the whole ass
secondhand high.
His neighbor gets
secondhand
deliveries of the White Claw and the weed. So
I'm whiffing that. I'm huffing that.
But correct. Like all kidding aside, like it's obviously the palate. Like you guys have this much more of a palate. I could sit in and smoke this great, and I don't taste what you guys taste. I mean, I guess right.
No, well, like I would say it's the retro, but also too it's the spices that you know, it's like one thing that Sandro says. He says to be a great reviewer, you have to know a lot of spices.
Sure.
You know,
to be familiar. Yeah. You have to know what something tastes like.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's wild.
You have to be able to. So for like the way that a lot of people have commented on a video I made once before was, for me, a lot of it is the idea of something. So a lot of people, I don't think they taste the exact flavor, but people think like, oh yeah, he's tasting this. It's like, no, the note or whatever he got reminded him of that.
Okay.
Like when I smoke the Pappy, it reminds me of Huntington Beach. It doesn't taste like fucking Huntington Beach, but that's what it reminds me of.
Right.
Because it's that fire pit.
The bonfire. Yeah.
And that's really what it all comes down to, is that like in our brains, we've got these channels of memories that we can tap into with food and with flavors so like vividly. And you know how like sometimes you smell something that reminds you of your grandmother's house or your mom's house or your mom's cooking or whatever. It's the exact same thing with cigars, with bourbon, same thing, right? And the way that you taste things in bourbons differently, even though all bourbons have to be made with a minimum of 51% corn and they have to be made in the US, and like you only have so much variety as far as to what you can do to it. Cigars are the exact same way. They could be complete opposites with just the same wrapper and very similar blends, just because somebody did something different, right?
Well, I just learned a lot from hearing you guys discuss this, because I'm joking when I say, waffle cone, all that shit.
Yeah.
But like,
it's true.
But like seriously, it's impressive. Like for me, as just a casual Joe that likes cigars, like listening to you guys, like on your platforms when you're breaking down a cigar, it's awesome. I just sit there, and just binge watch you guys. Like this is fucking cool. Like and like I'll be listening to you guys break down a cigar that I thought was okay, and you guys think suck. I'm not buying that anymore.
Well, I think the one thing you have to keep in mind also too is that the notes that Mac's gonna get might not be the same notes that Michael and Johnny get.
Yep.
Because everybody's gonna taste something different, but they might be in the same book.
Right.
So that's really what you're going for. Like when you when you're listening to a review, you want to hear 2 or 3 people. It's like, okay, well, they're both getting this right here, but they're all get into the same kind of place.
There's been a lot of them.
I would say like a citrus note. Say like I'm getting like an orange citrus sweetness, and then like Michael could be getting like a lemon zest. It's in the same ballpark, in the same
ballpark. Yeah.
Even when Matt smokes Cameroon cigars, right? One of his biggest notes is cardamom, and he always usually gets cardamom. I get like sunflower oil or sunflower seeds. It's very, very comparable, because if you take a piece of cardamom and you take some sunflower seeds, you can kind of like say, okay, it's in the ballpark, right? One's nutty, one's a little bit more spicy, but generally it's kind of like right there. And 100%. Sometimes he'll say cardamom in a review on a Cameroon stick that I taste. Like if I'm smoking an Aladino limited edition Cameroon from last year, that was one of the notes that he picked out. And when I was smoking it, I was like, yeah, this thing's got cardamom. I'm not going to bite his stick. I'm going to go back to sunflower. But yeah, no, this is cardamom.
We're talking about the same thing.
You text him. You text him like, God damn it, Matt, I got the same thing you got.
Yeah. I mean, like,
but you know what? Like sometimes I love like like I'll hit Matt up like and we'll try a wet pack. And I'll go, hey, did you get this right here? And he goes, y'all got the same thing. And I'm like, okay, all right. I'm like, all right. So what I was thinking was actually like in there.
Yeah.
Or very similar in there.
What about humidors? Like what I mean, I've been through a lot of humidors. I'm just curious what guys like you all, how you like my brother-in-law I mentioned, like he's got one of those refrigerator looking big ass humidors. Like he's got the hookup, right? I didn't want something that big. I've been through like a lot of people. I've been through a lot of humidors that you spend, it's got a leak in it, or whatever in the fucking humidity, all this shit.
Yeah.
And then I came across what's that company, and I spent a good amount of money on it. It holds like 85. It's Blizzard. Am I saying it right? Blizzard, like lizard, Blizzard and Company. Does that ring a bell?
I've heard the name. Yeah. I've heard the name. I've heard the name.
It's one of their lighters.
They do the lighters and stuff. Yep. Yeah.
Dude, on you. I'm telling you right now. Dude, I have a walnut wood, like with this wrought iron handle on it. It's not cheap. Bro, I've had this humidor probably 4 years. Phenomenal. It holds 4 Bovitas. I mean, so it's like it's holding a lot, like 4, Bovitas. Yeah. Like it's got these trays for the Bovitas. But I'm just curious what you guys think on humidors, or how you guys. Is there any?
I some of the thermoelectric refrigerator ones. A lot of them just aren't great. Like I've come across a few that work really well, and like I like to keep my Cubans in those, because Cubans can be more sensitive to temperature and stuff in terms of like tobacco beetles. So like I like to have a refrigerated one just mainly for Cubans. But I've found most of them don't work that great. There's a few that do. They work consistently good. They'll keep a good seal, and they'll keep good humidity and temperature. Okay. And these guys will say it. Honestly, the best thing is a Tupperware. Just get a big plastic, weather tight seal. Pretty. Tupperware,
but it's cost effective.
But it doesn't look as good. Effective. Yeah.
Cooler works great.
Yeah, or cooler. Like literally, cost effectiveness, and all that. Because the bigger you get on those refrigerated ones, I mean, they get real expensive if you want one that if you want one that works well. So
the one that I mentioned, Blizzard, I leave it it's in like my den, like as a centerpiece. So it's like a piece of furniture. It's big. Yeah. So that's why, it's.
Yeah, I think it also depends on where you live, because that's the biggest thing.
Absolutely.
I have 2 of the big ass New Airs, and one is on with Bovitas in it, and the other one is empty, and they both pretty much not empty, but it's not even plugged in. They both pretty much read exactly the same temperature and humidity. It just depends on what it is, when it is. When it's wintertime and the heaters are running and it's dry, I have to keep them wet. In the summertime, I have those like clay packets that absorb moisture. I don't even use Bovitas. I try and take as much as I can out, because they don't need it. I can leave cigars in my garage and pick them up and smoke them just on this table right here, because it's fucking wet in the summer. Yeah. It just doesn't matter. So that's when people are like, you have to do this. It's like, there's no way. Yeah, yours is super dry. So you're going to leave it out there.
Super dry.
Yeah. So it just depends. So when people are like, this is the answer, no, it depends on where you are.
Where you live. Yeah, where you
live. No one size fits all.
100%.
Honestly, the best thermoelectric ones that I've come across is an off-brand called Kingchi. Like they're this Chinese company. I was real sus, and they're made out of the same factory as one of the other ones. Need one. Yeah. But honestly, Kingchi has a better reputation than Need One for some reason. I don't know why, but the 3 Kingchis I've had were flawless in terms of temperature, seal, all of that. So
I'm surprised. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll also say, like, people treat cigars with kids' gloves a lot more than they should, in my opinion. Yeah. Cigars are a lot more resilient than people give them credit for. And the main thing for me, it's, RH matters a lot, but for me, what's more important is temperature. If it's good to keep them humidified, keep them above like 55% humidity. That's fine. With where I'm at in California and SoCal, that's easy. But like if I smoke a cigar that like just came in the mail or it's like it's been in a truck, you know, it's hot, whatever. And if I try to smoke that cigar, it'll be shit. And not because of the RH, because of the temperature. Once I have that cigar in my humidor, like just inside my house where it's like, you know, ambient 65, 70 degrees for a couple of days, that cigar will be perfect. It'll smoke perfectly. But yeah, for me, if anybody's starting out or if anybody is listening that's like on the fence about buying a humidor, if you're not insane, like me, if you're an insane person like me and have like a ton of cigars, you know, that you have to get a bigger humidor or like a lot of Tupperdoors. But if you have a more manageable collection, something like around 50 to 100 cigars, just get a Tupperdoor. It's so with the rubber gasket, just get a Tupperdoor. It's not as pretty,
bag,
but it's or Ziploc. Fucking
they
Ziploc.
They work.
Ziploc bags.
That's it.
My ex cigars that don't fit in my humidor, I put in one of those Bovita bags or just a zip. I go in my kitchen and grab one, put a little pack in there, and
easy
good
done
for a while. Yeah, it's easy. Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess I was a sucker for buying a humidor. Damn it.
No, you bought it as a presentation, as a set, like you said, centerpiece. Exactly.
It's
like I mean,
it's cool.
They're like one of the few brands that have like ostrich skin lighters.
Yeah.
And they're badass looking. Like
what the fuck?
Okay. I have this lighter. It's not an ostrich. I know this one is a Blizzard, right?
Yeah.
It's a single torch though, right? But it's green with like an orange top. But the thing is, my wife bought my for Father's Day. She got me this, but it came with like it came with like what do they call them? They call them Havana Travelers. It's like these leather, you know what I mean? Like zip.
Yeah.
You fit you fit a fucking flask in there. Like it matches this, the lighter, the cutter.
Yeah.
Not that I'm using a flask, but you know, it's cool. You know, it's just like their thing. But you know, it's definitely like a boutique type of cigar, fancy Dan type shit. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So humidor functions great.
Blizzard. Yeah.
The shit is made. The quality of the wood.
Yeah.
Not that I work for these guys; they didn't give me shit. But I'm saying that the quality of the whole thing is phenomenal. Like the quality.
If you ever want to do a cigar show, and I know that Marvin came out for it, but the PCA trade show, which it's not available to the general public. But for people that know retailers and brands and different things like that, along with media, which is how we go, that was actually the first show that DJ, myself, and Cigar Hound Dog hung out at together. It's always been in Vegas, but they've kind of changed spots every few years. The next one's going to be in New Orleans for 2025.
Okay. All right.
And that brand specifically, you know, that's how my buddy ended up with the ostrich lighter, was because they didn't want to ship it back. So he was like, hey, I'll buy it off the trade show floor. And they do stuff like that. And it's usually good for the people that are checking out like what's going to get released. That's where a lot of the retailers do their buys at. So it's a good show for that. And you don't have to deal with as much general public if you do want to go to a cigar show.
If it's media, that's good, Mike, that's good input, I should say. Is that normally in summertime? Like when normally would that be? When is that?
They've moved it up over the years.
Yeah.
I believe that's going to be in April again this year because it got moved up from last year. So typically what they would do is they would always do like the Total Products Expo in February, and then PCA would be after. But as PCA's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and stolen a lot from TPE, it's moved up to like where this past year it was TPE, and then like 2 or 3 weeks later it was PCA. Like they just bombard them and just take over their whole shit.
That's wild. That's cool.
It's cutthroat.
I know years ago. I remember a buddy of mine went one of those cigar shows. It was actually in Manhattan City, and they had
that was Big Smoke back in the day.
That's right. That's exactly. And they had like fillet, like steaks running around, like guys cook lays and shit like that. And it's wild. Cool. I wasn't there, but I heard all about it. I was like, God,
what did they have this year? They had like tacos and carne asada or something.
Sounds more fun than PCA.
At Big Smoke.
At Big Smoke, yeah.
No comment.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, bro. It was so weird. like normally, because they still do like the carving station for the prime rib. I saw that, but then they had like carne asada or something in the middle. So they changed locations because the last 2 years it was at Resort World, and it was in a tent where your eyes would be burning by after like the second hour. And this year it was at the Paris Hotel, which I don't think was much better. But I didn't stay long because I had to come back for the Jonas Santana Blackbird, live stream. So I was late.
Yes.
And we had a joke about that too, because he put me on Puerto Rican time or whatever, and I told him no, it's Italian time from the East Coast. But anyway, we're busting balls back and forth. But yeah, like I didn't even get an opportunity to smoke a cigar. I grabbed a Diet Pepsi. I talked to Sanj for 5 minutes. I grabbed 2 cigars, and then I was gone.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I see Mike. And it was the first time me ever seeing Mike while I was having.
Mm-hmm.
First time ever. I'm looking. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? I'm like, oh shit, it's Mike
without my hat on.
While I was having, I'm like, oh shit. And so we chopped up for a quick 5 minutes, and then before I know it, he's gone. I'm like,
cool.
Yeah.
You guys have a good flow, man. You guys, and when you're doing a live stream like this, but I never met you guys, but you could tell that you guys have a synergy. As someone in the broadcasting game, like you could, like it just, and it's hard, like when you're doing a live stream, because you don't want to step on each other when you're talking, but you guys have a flow and it just works. I look at things different, like production wise and shit. So it's pretty,
Appreciate it. Helps a lot too.
Appreciate it.
Guest helps a lot too. So thanks.
Yes. Not having to pull teeth to get you to talk is wonderful.
I hope
I'm sure that you've interviewed plenty of people that are solid.
Wait, but I hope I'm not talking too much. I could fucking. My wife's
you're perfect. You're perfect, dude. This is great. This is great, man. Yeah. Dude, you've got this setup like.
I've been stuck in the fucking house for 5 weeks, but my leg up in the air.
You're ready to get out.
Who was your favorite broadcasting partner besides Michael Cole?
Oh well. I got to realize I work with guys now, right? But I would say the guy I had the best chemistry with was probably Michael Cole. We worked a lot together. I learned a lot from him because I was new at it, and he helped me a lot. And because he came from the radio business, he was a broadcaster and I was a wrestler, right? So they put us together because they wanted him to help me become a broadcaster. They wanted me to help with his credibility about wrestling. So I say Cole, also Joey Styles and I've done a lot of work together.
Styles.
Yeah. Mike Tenay, when I was in TNA, I've been blessed. I've worked with so many great guys. Every company I've been in. JR, I learned a lot from too, especially in WWE because I was, like I said, greener. I was newer. He the greatest of all time. I mean, he's just a legend. He's the
timing, everything.
Yeah, and now he's in his 70s. He still does all big shows for AEW, all the regular shows, and he's still on point, bro. And like, I learned a lot from him. So yeah, JR was. Yeah, like I said, I'm naming guys, but it's tough to pinpoint one. I've been very lucky to work with some of the best play-by-play guys in the history of the business. Mike Tenay, Joey Styles, Jim Ross, like I said, Michael Cole, and I said Joe's one, but yeah, and these guys now, meaning Tony Schiavone, who's Schiavone forever, and Excalibur's newer on the national level, worldwide level, actually. But man, he's a quick learner, and he's a student of the game. He's a great play-by-play guy, and so I've been blessed to work with guys, and because I'm only as good as partner, and because you're a team. So I've always learned, always believe in, no matter if you're watching pro football, pro baseball, or wrestling, whatever. If you have a color commentator by play guy, it's like by play guy, okay, in the fucking car. Me as the color commentator, I'm riding shotgun, and in the back seat is the audience. That's the analogy I give young announcers today. I try to tell them, I help color commentators in AEW, like younger guys that are trying to do this. Listen, that's how you got to look at it. It's a car. The show is a car. Play-by-play guys driving it. you, the color commentator, audience is going for the ride in the back seat. Yep. That's it. You have to think of that. That always helped me.
And also too, one thing also is that you guys sell the talent.
Yeah, well, you're right,
and that's the biggest thing.
We're the last. So check this out, right? If you think about it, and you're right, because and I learned this from Vince back in the day. Like, we, the announcers, are the last line of defense or offense to sell the brand and sell the products, sell the story, sell the paper. Salesman, we're hype men. We're to keep your credibility too. So if you like, when I watch, I'm a big football fan, and baseball fan. So when I listen to announcing with mainstream sports, I hear it different than most people hear it, because I hear what they're selling. They're selling too, believe it or not. They are. Yeah. If a game is lopsided and a team is getting their ass kicked, and it's only the first, they got to keep you. They got to keep you engaged. They got to keep you watching that fucking game. And there's a little dude that, if you're in the business, you.
I mean, Chris Collinsworth loves Patrick Mahomes more than Cigar Hound does.
Fucking bro. Don't even get me started.
He sells Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes is such a good guy. He's such a good player. That Patrick. Bro, I tell you this. Oh my God.
Well, I don't know. Let me tell you something. I don't know. Fuck. I don't know how Collinsworth is working as long. I remember when he played for the Bengals. He was a great, not good wide receiver. Maybe borderline great. He was a player. He was.
You tapered that back a little bit. You're like, great.
Well, he played for the Bengals. Actually, the Bengals were good. But he was there. He was there when the Bengals were good.
Yeah, and the thing
Mickey Woods.
Mickey Woods. And my man Boomer Esiason, who I'm friends with Boomer.
Yeah, Boomer.
And he's over here. And
every morning.
So the as a color commentator, he fucking sucks. So the thing is too. The thing is, like, I learned this too, guys. Like announce by play and color commentator. Again, it's subjective. It really is. Sure. So I could sit here and six of us could sit here and hate on Colin, but then you're gonna find a chunk like his bosses that like him. I mean, and it's subjective. Like, we all have opinions. I might like tomatoes, but you might love onion. Whatever. It's subjective. So I used to love listening to, when I was starting as a commentator, I would listen to Joe Morgan. And John Miller. They would call Sunday Night Baseball. I don't know if you guys are baseball fans or not, but man, and that fucking Joe Morgan, and was a great player for the Reds, as we all know, a great second baseman, all that shit. But he just connected to the audience, and he brought you on the field, made you feel like I never played pro baseball. I played high school baseball. I played Little League. I wasn't that good. But the thing is, I've always been an avid fan, and Joe Morgan would make you like you're on the field, and what was going on. Same thing with Keith Hernandez, fan. So I love Hernandez. Hernandez does that for Mets. You know what I mean? And the thing, what? Well, you're a Yankee fan?
You keep your crummy hands off my player.
I'm also a Yankees fan. You
keep your crummy hands off my guy.
Hey, I don't know who's got some money, bro. I don't know. Some money. And Soto and Lindor are boys. So I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Listen, all right. You can have Grimace. All right. You can go buddy
Grimace. Fuck Grimace. I'm the only Met fan who hates Grimace.
So it's Mets and then Jets as far as football goes?
No, so this is another. So I got hit with some NFL. So here's a little story on me. Jet Met fan my whole life, right?
Yep.
And I was a Jet fan until they completely left New York and then Jersey. So they used to I don't know, it was probably when Brett Favre around that time came over. They were playing at Giant Stadium. They were still practicing here on Long Island at a university. They would do their summer camp. Their son was little. I'd take him there. That's right. Wayne Corbett shit. And they still had a New York base to them. Unlike the Giants, who just went to Jersey. So I'm one of these New York problem with the fucking Jets and Giants being called New York. They play in Jersey. Their front office is in Jersey. The fucking stadium's in Jersey. The weight room's in Jersey. The training, it's fucking Jersey, bro. It's not New York. So to answer your question, Mike, I'm a Bills fan. So what I did was I said I did this thing. I said this is Bills weren't winning. Maybe 7 years ago, 6 years ago, I said, fuck it. I'm going to go with the only real New York team, even though they basically play in Toronto. But
yeah, I meant to say they're basically a Canadian team if you go by distance, and the Giants are a lot closer to New York.
I agree.
Also, they've started in the Bronx. Like, I don't agree, but I understand.
Yeah, I know it's a little crazy. When I had my podcast, I did shows for weeks. I have
shit! I gotta listen to some of those,
bro. When people were, fuck you talking about? You Jets, they're all pissed at me and shit. And I went Bills, but when I went to the Bills, so it's before they had Josh Allen and
yeah.
So yeah, I was a Jet fan, and I don't hate on the Jets. I never hated on the Jets, and I grew up a Jet fan, so I was a big Joe Klecko fan as a kid, and the Sack Exchange,
New York Sack Exchange, yeah.
They were great.
If I thought since you love Misery so much, I'm like, you're like, I love Misery and I hate it so much. I thought you would come with me. Down my team. Your
team. What's your team?
He's an Eagles fan.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Worse than that. I'm a
right
Cowboys
now.
fan.
Still?
Hey,
I thought you quit last year.
He's a Cowboys fan.
You know what? It's a domestic relationship. Jerry King said, "Let me talk to you. It's
domestic
okay.
Abuse.
I won't hit you again." And this year, he got mad and just fucking, and he's still willing. Every week, I'm getting well done. Every fucking name.
Bro, Taz.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the Cowboys have so much talent and they just fell apart this year. But whatever. Go ahead, John.
Dude, Taz, I'm so glad that you switched teams, because this whole year I've been talking about I'm right on the cusp of disavowing the Cowboys. So I'm in Dallas.
No.
Stay
with me. No, you can't leave me. You can't leave me,
bro.
You can't leave me.
You can't leave,
bro. When CD Lamb
Stockholm syndrome.
When CD Lamb got blinded by the stupid sun because Jerry built the stadium the wrong direction, and
Bro,
CD
asked more than one game.
I know. Hold on.
That's just an excuse for being bad. Let's be honest.
When CD said, "Can we please put the curtain down?" and Jerry said, "No," I'm done, dude. I'm done.
Oh God,
I'm done.
Watch the Cowboys.
I'm done. Disavowed. Disavowed.
You pay
Disavowed.
for a doctor and you get a visor. It's that simple.
Disavowed.
You can pay for a visor.
Disavowed.
You can't see AJ Brown's face. His visor is pitch black. It's pitch black. You can't even see his face. Looks like an assassin. Stone Cold assassin.
Like, there's no excuse for it. Wear
the visor. Wear the visor.
Put on the visor.
Put on the visor.
I hate them. I hate them.
So wait, Mike, you said I'm sorry. You said you were a Giant fan. What are you? What's your team?
Yeah,
you're
I'm a Giant
NFL
fan. I'm a Giant. So
how's that going?
In misery.
Yeah. It was great in 2007, 2011. I'm paying my dues.
That's like me living off in the 90s. Come on,
bro. I still live off of it. I still. Eli's my guy. Hall of Fame, bro. We're going to Hall of Fame first ballot. All right.
I'll tell you. I remember back in the day, the all kidding aside, the Giants were fucking legit.
Yeah.
I mean,
defense.
They were 97 when they won the Super Bowl, Taz.
Dude, they were great.
It was 2007 and 11.
I was doing radio with Tiki Barber, like for WFA, and Boomer and those guys. I became good friends with Tiki. I would just talk to them about the Giants, like off air. We would just have conversations about it, and hearing the way that program was ran like a fucking machine, dude. Hearing him give details about they were great. They were great.
Yeah, and Tiki caught like a lot of shit because of what he said about Eli, and a lot of the fans do this thing, and it's mostly people from Jersey and New York, I feel like, but they turn on people so fast. The media eats that up, and they create all those narratives, and it really sucks because Tiki was, up until Saquon, the like generational running back. Like there was Mercury Moore, there was a couple of guys, but really it was Tiki. That was the guy. And you know, like as soon as he quit on the team, everybody quit on him, and it turned really nasty really fast. But
it did.
The team overall found success afterwards, and they got behind Eli, and he became Eli.
He's a 5.
Are you a Daniel Jones believer?
I wanted to be. You know, the first couple of years, I was expecting there to be like this Josh Allen situation where he sucked for 2 years, and then in year 3 he figured it out. And it never happened fully. And now I'm like off the wagon. But I don't feel like
it's the jersey.
Do I know why?
It's the jersey. If he came to Dallas, I guess he'll be winning. If he came to Dallas,
bro,
with CD,
bro, you can have him now.
He'll be winning with us.
Oh God!
It's the Giants and that sorry ass organization.
No, bro. No, you don't want that. You don't want that evil, buddy. You don't want that evil. Trust me, no. You're gonna ride the Dak contract nice and long. You'll be fine.
Listen, and Matt, know what? Matt's sitting there just in the corner, just counting his rings.
He's got Mahomes. Like, you know,
he's like,
oh wait a minute. I just learned something. Hold on, Chiefs fan, Matt.
Oh yeah,
big Chiefs, lifelong Chiefs fan.
Yeah,
lifelong.
Yeah,
I paid my dues.
They're the new Patriots. They're the best. It's the Mahomes is Brady. It's Brady.
They're the easy ones to hate.
When I started watching the Chiefs, Elvis Gerback was my fucking quarterback.
I remember.
I paid my dues. I paid my fucking dues.
You did. I'm
not
looking forward to this. I'll tell you, this game Sunday with the Chiefs and the Bills, in a crazy, weird way. I sound weird. I don't mind if the Bills. This is what I'm saying. I don't mind if the Bills lose because they'll meet each other in the playoffs, and then the Chiefs will due to lose. I want them to be undefeated and defeated until the playoffs. They get fucking nailed. You know what I mean? My team.
That's how I felt about the Patriots in 2007. Yeah. That's how I felt because we lost to them in the last week, and it was a really tight game. And I was like, I hope that they play again. And that was the greatest feeling of all time. So
I was rooting for the Giants. I was rooting for the Giants. I hated the Patriots forever.
Oh yeah,
So Taz,
that's why I say I can live off of it forever.
Yeah,
I can live off of it forever. Also, my dad was a diehard Dan Marino fan because of Pittsburgh University and stuff like that.
Was great.
So he was a huge Dolphins fan. Growing up, and I watched a lot of Dolphins games, and my uncle was a huge Giants fan, and they used to go at it all the time. So, like, to preserve the Dolphins' undefeated season and all that stuff, and I got to watch it with my dad. It was
that's cool. They were great with Marino to legit with Duper, and they had what was the other receiver?
Clayton and Duper, and then it was Irving Fryer until he went to Philly. He was really good, and McDuffie, who was one of my favorite players for a long time, OJ McDuffie.
AJ Dewey was a really good defensive end, I believe, like a rush end. He was a real good player. Dewey.
They had Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas. There were a lot of great players.
Thomas,
Patrick Surtain's dad played for the Dolphins.
Right. Yeah, he did. I remember that.
So Taz, you're a Knicks fan, Taz?
I'm not a hoops fan. I've never had with hoops. I always got stories. So we do fucking sports radio, like I did for 2 years in New York City for CBS Sports Radio. You end up hating sports. I know it's going to sound crazy, bro, because it's like you. I was doing a 6 a.m. show, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. every day in Manhattan. Right? I had it in the studio, not in my house in my underwear, in the studio. Right? And the thing is, hoops, the NBA, and the A basketball. We had so much coverage of that on CBS Sports Radio. I had to watch so many fucking games, and I used to go to bed at like 9:30 at night because I was at 3 a.m. to get to the studio. So I'd get to the studio, and here I am in the cubicle before we're on the air watching fucking replays of NBA games, bro. I ended up hating NBA and the NCAA. I watched most, and I'm done. That's it. Well, I don't have an NBA team to answer your question. I didn't grow up like a Knicks fan or Nets or nothing like that, and I'm from Brooklyn. Then I know Brooklyn, but so I'm kind of indifferent. I respect the guys and amazing athlete, and I'm not a big NBA guy. So bad, shitty answer. I know, but that's it.
No, it's
That's a good answer.
You're a Mets fan, so you don't like winning anyway.
Oh, come on now, bro. We did pretty good this year.
Yeah,
What the fuck is that?
Oh, we're good this year.
Listen,
we're good.
I'll tell you this. That fifth inning will live. Like, Met fans at my job were coming up to me, giving me a hug.
Yeah, that fifth inning hurt. That fifth inning hurt.
Ooh,
that hurt.
Poor Garrett Cole. Poor Garrett Cole.
Exactly. Hey, for the World Series, I was in for the Yankees. I'm not one of those Met fans that Yankees. I'm not a Yankee hater. Just never rooted for the Yankees. I grew up with a lot of Yankee fans and family members, and I was a Met fan. I was a Met fan because my dad, Brooklyn, he was a Dodgers fan. Yeah. Brooklyn Dodgers. So when the Dodgers play, and then over a couple of years, and then the Mets came in, he became a Mets fan. So I grew up a Mets fan, and my dad hated these. So I never Yankee fan, but this year, how great the Mets did. I mean, it was like a Cinderella season. At the end of the day, bro, they did the same thing your team did. They lost.
Well, they actually played better.
It's the way
they played them better. They did
play better. It's the way you lose.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they played them better. The Yankees lost every single game for themselves. The Mets actually played and won games for themselves. The Yankees lost every
with a shitty bullpen too. Bullpen all year sucked.
Yep.
I mean,
I'd say that the Yankees bullpen overperformed to get them there, and then underperformed in the World Series.
They did.
So, how big is that Pete Alonso home run to you? Is it bigger than the Piazza 9/11 home run?
Yeah, for me it is. Yeah, it is. Wow, I remember when we did that. Yeah, no, that's cool. And I like Alonso. I love Piazza too. And
but if I
can tell you a quick Piazza story, right? So when I was in WWE, right, and it was maybe 2000 or 2001. WWE with the Mets for me to throw out a first pitch, right? So I go there, and it's awesome. My son was like a year and a half old, so I had him with me. My wife was there. And I'm going to throw out the first pitch. So I'm trying to Todd Pratt, I think that was his name, was the backup catcher. So the backup catcher normally catches the first pitch. So fucking Piazza, this is what he did. They announced my name. I walked to the mound, right? And he waits to what type of reaction the Socrates that's throwing out the first pitch gets to see if he's going to come in and bounce Pratt out. So I got this really, really good reaction. He fucking comes running, then he gets a bigger reaction, and then into the dugout, and Piazza gets to a squat and gives me the nod, throw the fucking ball, and I'm like, this fucking. Well, I mean, that's like a glory hound, like you see the reaction that guy gets. Right? Am I?
Did you make it? Did you make it to the plate?
I did. I did not. I was going to stand on the hill on the rubber. That was my game plan. And then when I walked out, and you see how far the fucking rubber is from the dish.
It's far. It's far.
I'll do the little league gimmick. I'll go in front of it. Let me go. It's far, bro.
But you didn't skip it.
I didn't skip it. No, it wasn't a strike. It was. I didn't skip it though. Yeah, no.
No, but that's all right.
It wasn't like
as long as
like
you don't skip it.
Yeah, 50 was bad.
Him? No, it was bad.
No,
50.
So back in the day, you guys did an album with Def Jam.
Yeah.
Back in the day. So were you able to meet a lot of rappers back in the day that were fans?
A ton. But I hooked up with Cypress Hill, and he did a song for me when I was in WWE.
That's dope.
If you remember that song, they did a Rock Superstar. That was a popular song. Mm-hmm. And I talked Be Real because I used to host Night Heat at the WWF restaurant with Michael, and they had come in and perform live at the restaurant. It was like a stage and shit. And then we started hanging out and talking. I became friends with them, and then WWE was collaborating with different hip hop artists for our entrance musics. And they asked me, "Hey, we want to do something with you. Who would you want?" I said, "Well, Cypress Hill would be great." So I connected with Be Real, and I said, "Look, I love that song, Rock Superstar. Can you do something?" And at the time, he was deeming me like I was the thug, like I was thug with me, my character. So they called it Thug Superstar, Cypress Hill, and they just changed the verbiage, the It was a song just rapping about like my career. And that's who I was paired up with, was Cypress Hill.
Yeah, Taz, you have no idea how many whoopers I got because of you and put my brothers in the mission.
Yeah, I definitely beat the shit out of my brother a little bit too.
Yeah. Like, well, I went up and me and my cousin was wrestling. Actually, so I wrestled in New Rochelle, and I had to do it in the cradle, and he's getting up, and my boy goes, "Hit him with a Tazplex." So I go up and just fucking force the kid, get fucking 2 points deducted.
I was gonna say that's a 2-point deduction, bro.
Dude, I got 2 points deducted. The kid was milking it. Like I'm like, yo, get the fuck up. Like it's not that bad.
Yeah. He wasn't hurt. No, he's not.
He wasn't. And
now, if you were wrestling, if you know this, if you were wrestling freestyle or grow, that's cool. Yeah. You're okay. You're good.
You know, you have to control it. You have to control the guy the whole time.
Correct.
And that's fucking exactly pop my hips and let him rip.
That a boy.
My younger brother was going back to Bam Bam Bigelow. My younger brother was a huge Bam Bam fan. And when he was just really, really tiny, and then he actually wrestled in high school, and I think that he took maybe top 4 in the state of Nevada for a little while. But I mean, like, he also had a very limited weight class. He was about 105 and 5 feet.
Wow.
So but those guys are nasty, bro. Those little guys are nasty, bro. They're nasty.
And I'll tell you what, for all the ass beatings that I did when he was younger, he got me back bad. He got me back because that dude could put me in some shit. Like, he's a little guy, but he's tough as nails.
That's what I'm saying. It don't matter how much you weigh. You know, it don't.
No.
But he didn't wrestle in high school on the island, did he?
My younger brother?
Or no. I was looking at Taz. I was asking, did his son wrestle?
About my son? No, because what happened, like I was saying about when he was probably he segued. He played football, wrestled, and then once he got into high school, it was all lacrosse because at that time CAA there wasn't all these violations. Now today your kid can't get recruited. He's a junior or she's a junior. No. So when he was in high school, it was fair game, bro. It was the Wild West. He was getting recruited an 8th grader. He was already ready to decommit. This is the truth. He was a commit freshman year of high school. Before he played a high school lacrosse game, he was already committed. So
that's crazy.
It is crazy. And as parents, we were like, this is nuts. But like, it's kind of like a game. A recruiting coach told my son and my wife and me years ago. It's like a game of musical chairs. The music is playing, and when the music stops, there's a chair. So you're either going to take it or maybe you'll get the next chair. So the point is, people that think parents are crazy back then to let their son or daughter commit as an athlete, as a grader or a 9th grader, equal fucking chairs because you might not get the next time they stop that song, you might not get a chair. And you could always decommit. So he decommitted when he was a sophomore, junior, or even a senior in high school. And, it's a verbal commitment. It wasn't a written commitment. So he ended up going to Buck University, which is a smaller school. He won in Pennsylvania because he wanted it's like 3.5 hours from wanting to be a little closer to home. He was recruited by Ohio State and Penn State, Michigan, Hopkins, Maryland, North Carolina, all these, all summer we were at game. We were on vacation. We were not on vacation. We were on sidelines watching them play in tournaments and recruiting. I mean, it's tough as a parent, and kid, because if you really desire for your daughter or son, or your son desire to be an athlete in college, especially D1, man, that recruiting process is fucking harsh. It's no joke. Yeah. It's heavy, man. It's heavy, and it's as fuck. So. Yeah. Long-winded answer, but so in high school the college they didn't want him playing football in high school, getting hurt. So he played judo, so it's like he so all that stuff was adapting easy to being pro wrestler because his moves are already locked in and he knew how to fall already. And I said since he's little, I was always rolling around with him. So like learning how to do this. I mean, he's still learning. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. He's only 25. So, but you know, he picked it up pretty quick, and they fast tracked him, which was scary. You know, because like he was.
Well, I seen when he retired the FTW belt with
at Arthur Ashe, that one in Queens.
Yep.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah. It was emotional. You know, I invented that title in 1996, 97 was it? And then for him to have the championship, renegade championship, like a rogue championship, was never recognized by a company, but that's what made it cool. FTW championship. It stood for fuck, but we never said fuck the world. But that's what it. So for Mike and run with it, and then retire it as the last FTW champion, it was obviously for me emotional. You know, it was
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I just want to say one thing. I'm sorry, guys, and I have a 17-year-old son, and he wrestles, and I sat down with his coach for 3 hours. And he says, you have 5 routes to go to college. He goes, and he said you have you have A, AA, AAA, JUCO, and then I think they have one called I think like NJ one of the other ones.
That's like a JUCO, the NJCAA, I think it is. Yeah, I know.
So and he was stressing to him, he said, you have to get your grades together, because I didn't know his grades were so bad. So, me and his coach on him this year, where now he's actually he had his GPA up to A's and B's now. But
good.
He was telling him, he said, listen, if your grades aren't good, this school will pass over you for a kid that's not as good as you, but his grades are better than you because he's less of a risk.
And and it's not just that he's less of a risk. I'm gonna tell you what. When you have players, no matter what sport it is, going into college, they are grade boosters. The team GPA is looked at by the AD and the NCAA. So when you have some players that have a really high GPA, but they're maybe not as good as an athlete or a player, they're going to take a guy or girl because that is going to boost the team GPA. It's every sport across the board in this country.
Yeah.
In college, no matter if it's D1, D2, D3, it don't matter. So see what you're saying, but it's good that he got his grades up, and his coach said the right thing. Like that's like because there's players are a dime a dozen. There's so many great players in any sport. So if you grades are low, you better be a fucking you better be like the man. Like if you're looking to go to a Patriot League school or like an Ivy League school, or ACCs have a high GPA requirement, you're not going to get in. And I've seen like lacrosse players when my son was playing in high school, kids that were like great players, football players too, and because their GPA was low, they just missed out or had to go to a prep school.
Yep.
Like right after they graduate high school for 1 year to get grades up.
Yeah.
And which is that's not a bad thing. It's almost like going to a junior, which is not bad either. I mean, it's no big deal.
Well, from what I hear in the SEC, all you need is a 2.0. That's what I hear.
I think the SEC pulse.
Yeah.
And I like the SEC. I like the SEC. I'm being no.
It's basically NFL football right there in SEC. It's like
exactly.
It's like just spell your name. No. It's you're spelling it wrong. It's 2 I's in your name. No.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you. I don't want to name school, but one of those I named the school earlier. One of those recruited him. It was a Big Ten school, big school, and a big time football from all sports. And we went and visited with him, and when they were recruiting him, and we go into study hall. The coaches take you on like a tour, of everything. And in study hall, they have all these TVs, these flat screens, and all the players are hanging out, just chilling, watching ESPN. And then there's like this table of like these kids that are not football players or basketball players, wrestlers or lacrosse players. You could tell, sitting around with books and computers. Ones that are tutoring the players, but the players are just chilling. So when the player walks in this particular Big Ten school, when he walks into that study hall, that's digitized with his shit on it. So he scans it so they know he went to study hall. But what are you doing in stall? Like, what are you doing in study hall?
Yeah.
See, that's a little fugazi. But if you go to an Ivy League school, a lot of people don't talk about the Patriot League, but it's D1, and it's like Navy, Colgate, Lafayette. Now, these schools are like Ivies, where there's no academic help. So your son's a wrestler. So no matter where he goes to college, for the most part, he's going to have academic help because everybody on the team has academic help. Because what they don't tell you when your kid gets recruited is how much commitment there really is to the program. You are getting up at 5 in the morning for lift to go train. Okay, doing that till 9 a.m. Take a shower. Then you got to go to class. Then you got practice at 4 o'clock. You're practicing till probably 7 o'clock. Then you watch film till about 9 p.m. What the fuck are you studying?
Right.
You know, it's so your GPA up. It's hard for these kids. It really is. Like
it's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job. And the fucking thing is annoying because you're really just keeping that head coach. They get pissed at you because his ass is on the line, the coach. So if the team loses, obviously he's the coach. If the GPA's down, he's down. He gets from the AD. So it's like these kids, no matter what school, like especially D1 sports, boys and girls, it don't matter. They're driving them hard as balls, man. And so many kids, they're not going to play in the NFL or the NBA, or play Major League Baseball. That's a very few fine line of how many guys all make it in these bigger sports where you're making.
And that's the thing. And these kids come from broken homes, hood environments, and they go to college and they come home with this degree that they didn't earn. So they can't even go into the field that they said because they don't know nothing about it.
No, they can't. I mean, I know of a kid who was going to Johns Hopkins. Now Hopkins is in Baltimore. It's a great school, big school, big time. They don't have a football program, but their lacrosse is legendary, right? So this kid played with my son in high school. Really good lacrosse player. Really into kid. He wanted to be a doctor. So that's why he wanted to go to Hop. But they loved him for his lacrosse, obviously. He could not take the classes for medical school during the regular semesters because of lacrosse practice. So the head coach told him once he committed and once he signed his fucking scholarship, you have to do that in the summer. You have to stay on campus and take summer classes if you want to be a doctor. You keep those classes because they cut into our practice at 4 p.m. Mm-hmm. That's fun. But that happened to this kid, and he ended up transferring out. And those are stories you don't. But these are true stories. It's really happened.
That's the dark side of it, and that's the stuff you don't hear about these. You don't hear about it because think about this. Like you got these quarterbacks that are going and they're taking yoga as a class. What? Yeah. How is that a class?
How's that a lie? Yeah. Kids have class. They have programs. They have courses now on weed, like for marijuana, for cannabis. So a lot of these athletes, they're going to class to learn about weed.
Yeah,
three credits, 3 credits, baby.
Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy. It's
but the problem
the NCAA too is. Dude, when my son signed his scholarship, I looked it over. My wife looked it over, and it's from the NCAA and the university, right, bro? It's a one-way contract, and what a lot of people don't realize is that scholarship is only per season, and the language, the verbiage is in the deal. If you fucking blow your knee out, or you get hurt, or shit like that, they could revoke that contract, that scholarship money with no problem, and you're signing that. And you have to earn your scholarship each season.
Now, does that include with NIL money also?
Well, I don't. My son in school when the NIL. I know that's a whole different animal now. So that's a good question. I don't know the answer.
Okay,
that's probably got to be the great equalizer for a lot of those athletes that do have the opportunity to move on to the NFL, the NBA, MLB, and stuff like that, because now they can actually earn money from being in school, being in college, and staying and completing their degree too on top of it.
And I, you're right, Mike. And I think it's great because I think it's great these college players are getting paid because I'll tell you why. You know, you talked about the SEC or your Big Ten or any of these big time football programs or basketball. These players are drawing thousands and thousands of people every week.
Yeah.
That
hundreds
money
of thousands. Hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Right stadium.
And that's not including the TV deal.
But and the other thing is, so before these were getting money, the college guys and girls, the fucking guy in the stands that's selling hot dogs for the University of Michigan is making more than the starting quarterback for the University of Michigan because he's making no money. You know what I mean? It's crazy if you think about that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they're drawing the money. You know, so I'm happy kids are, you know, that they're getting paid. They should. You know, I mean, they're drawing like tons of money.
And I mean, to your point, right? Like, they would always say that the scholarship is the financial incentive, right, along with moving to the professionals. But the thing is, though, is that, like, if you do get the opportunity to play pro, you're not staying for your whole scholarship. Most of the time, you're going to finish it after the fact.
Correct.
And a lot of times, if you are in a school, like, you know, it doesn't even need to be an SEC school or a very top tier school in whatever sport it is. You're not actually applying yourself to the degree anyway. So it's like you're going to get out, like to Inno's point, and not be able to utilize it for what you want to utilize it for.
Well,
exactly. And
like,
that's it.
For me, my only thing is like this may sound messed up, but I feel like if you're getting $2 million, I feel like you should at least pay, because that scholarship can go to another kid. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Like if you get paid $2 million, you can at least cover your own tuition when you go.
Yeah, but that's not happening, as you know, because these scholarships are peanuts to the universities because the endowment. See, what people don't talk about is the endowment. A lot of these schools we're talking about the endowment, the money, the old money that's there from the alumni. It's fucking real, bro. Like 99% of all these schools, that don't matter at a SEC, Big Ten, ACC, but you know, don't matter what sport. The endowment scholarships are peanuts to these universities. Peanuts. They don't mean shit to them. You know, it really doesn't. So it's like for the player it does, especially if it's that's from a broken home or the family is hurting financially or what have you. You know, and the family needs financial aid and all that shit. The scholarships matter. You know, but to the university like these, you know, massive schools, dude, they're businesses, bro. They're not just learning institutions. That's fucking bullshit.
The Johnny Manziel Netflix documentary was like,
I didn't see that
for that. Oh,
I
that's
didn't
a good
see
one
it
for you to watch, Taz. Like that's a good one.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out. Yeah,
it's a fun, it's a fun one, but it's really good because he's talking about just the amount of money that was presented to him, and he's like, "Why am I going to go to school? I'm out here partying in the club with so and so. Like I got Chris Brown hanging out with me. $2 million. That was he was like $2 million. That was a one phone call."
And he was a wild man. He was a nut, man. He was wild.
Like
he was wild. Yeah.
Did you ever see Rand University?
Oh yeah.
Rand University was great. That's the Randy Moss one with Jason. That was a great one because all his boys went pro, and they all said we all ended up right back here at Rand University at the fucking gas station.
Yeah,
because of drugs.
The U was a good one too.
I saw that. I saw it.
The U was fun.
Good. Yeah.
But
the one with the convicts and the Catholics, was that the one? No. What was the one? Was the one about Notre Dame?
Miami and Notre Dame.
Miami and Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
That
but
was a good one.
Broke was really good too.
Yeah, Broke was another good one. That was the same guy that did the U.
Oh, yeah.
Same director.
I gotta check these out. I gotta fucking check them out.
You know what?
I'm watching too much fucking cigar podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
So that actually is the perfect segue to movie time. I don't know if we're there yet. Are we there yet?
We're over the 2 hour.
We're past. We're past 2 hours.
Everything. Well, here's the thing. I should. Well, here you guys talk about movies. Is that what happens?
Mm-hmm.
Usually towards the end of the show, for like 30 minutes or so, we usually get into like what we're watching or what
here's the problem. Like, I'm probably gonna have to say goodbye because I'm a shitty movie. I don't watch movies. My wife's like, you just watch sport, you know. And like I don't shit on Netflix. I'm the fucking one-dimensional goof. Like I don't. So I cannot contribute to movie time.
So, all right,
it's okay. It's okay.
All good.
So for a special occasion, so like, all right, so like when you're on the plane and you're traveling, do you read? What do you get into? Like,
that's a good question.
Bro, do I look like I read?
Of course not. We're from New York. From New York. Holy shit.
I'm from fucking Brooklyn, bro. I mean, listen.
Like, I'm saying,
he's got coloring books on the plane. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Listen,
bro. I'm a product.
Audible books, and you know.
No, none of. I'm a product of the public school system. This is not a good thing. So, in the 80s. So here's the thing. I don't on a plane. Music. I listen to music, or I'll watch. I have the MLB baseball season. I watch games on my phone. You know, because I have the package and shit. So I just watch baseball or music. I'm not a real sleep guy, but I'll listen to music mostly. So
what are you listening to now, Taz?
I like old school rock. I'm not a huge hip hop guy. I like a lot of 90s, like Limp Bizkit shit, or like Pearl Jam, Nirvana, some White Zombie, that kind of shit. Just that's it. I'll go old school, Van Halen. Huge Led Zeppelin fan since I'm a kid, so I always loved Led Zeppelin. You know, like that. That's the kind of shit I listen to. Some hip hop. My son Hook, he's big into hip hop, so a lot of times he'll get on me. We listen to Dad, listen to shit from 1980. I go, I know. So, but he likes some of the old school rock, but he gets me involved with a little bit of the hip hop. So
back in no. Oh, first of all, you're from Brooklyn, so there was no Slick Rick or nothing like that. But
Beastie Boys, I liked. I didn't like that. I'm talking about earlys now. I'm pulling my Beastie Boys because they're from. But no, I didn't. I like Run DMC because they're from Queens. You know, so I wasn't like diehard.
What about Wu-Tang? No Wu-Tang?
Wu-Tang, I loved Wu-Tang, of course. Yeah, of course, loved Wu-Tang.
Were you back in the day with the Adidas suit, pop locking to freestyle music back in the day?
Well, yeah. Ray gun. I was an Italian kid wearing Adidas suit. I was wearing a Sergio Tacchini suit, so you can Google that. Sergio Tacchini, like what the Italian kids wore. I did have a couple of Adidas sweatsuits. I did. Everybody did.
More velour. More velour.
Well done.
More velour.
Yes.
A lot of was it TKA? Was it back in the day that the Italians used to bump?
Kappa.
Oh
yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Oh man, that was years ago. But no, I didn't. I wasn't into like a lot of It's like now I'll live like Action Bronson. I know Bronson a long time, and he does entrance music. So his
his NPR joint that he did. The what they call that? Those when they do the live band.
Oh, NPR, the tiny desk.
Tiny desk. Yo.
Yeah. That like the old Unplugged.
Dude, that was fire. Yeah, his band killed
cool.
That.
It was. You know, if you like Tiny Desk, I mentioned Cypress Hill. He did one. Cypress Hill did one.
Really?
Tiny Desk. It's really good. You'd like it. It was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I think you'd like it. Yeah, it was good.
Hey guys, I gotta bounce. I'm freezing my ass off, so I gotta.
Oh my god, you're in Texas. They don't want to hear that shit.
Bro, it gets cold. It gets cold up here. DJ will tell you. I'm validated, but
Taz, I closed my garage door, but I am freezing.
I'm freezing outside here.
Where are you guys in Dallas? Where, John?
Dallas. I'm in Dallas.
DFW.
It does get chilly. I know. All right, well,
yeah. Well, so I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna head inside. But Taz, thanks for joining, man. Dude, it's great talking with you.
John, great talking with you, man. And I'm gonna go too, guys. So you guys can talk about movies. You guys can talk shit about me while I'm gone. All right?
So, no, man.
No,
dude. Taz,
I'm just cold
thank
as hell.
you.
Taz, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Taz.
Hey, guys.
Bro,
a lot of fun.
It was a pleasure, man.
We'll do it down the road again.
I'll hit the Jersey, man.
Yeah.
You come out to Jersey.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks,
we'll
guys.
see you,
See
Taz.
y'all later on.
Bye-bye.
How you going, man? Bye-bye. See you.
John Boogie. I
That
guess
was
the
fucking
fight's
awesome.
in the 7th round?
Yeah,
we're
on
on
7 right now.
Round.
7th round right now out of 8.
8.
Oh, it's still going.
Either there's a really good script or age is a fucking factor. It's pretty fucking sad.
Is he connecting?
Tyson is getting his ass punched a shit ton and just kind of standing there. He's just standing there. The fucking
it's not
statue.
like the most. It's not the bob and weave mic. You know.
Nope. It's his depends are gonna get filled if he moves too much.
Yeah, he's like just trying to not walk into a punch is basically what's going on.
That sucks. That really
Either
sucks.
there's a really good script and 8's gonna be interesting, or this is pathetic.
Yeah, I'm actually
going
to pee
fight,
real
right?
quick, and then I'll be right back because I want to watch this last round as we're on.
It's sad.
Shit. And this is like just available for anybody that has Netflix, right? They can watch the fight.
Yeah.
It's not pay-per-view.
Nope. Just Netflix.
Shit.
Dude, Jake Paul is fighting with his hands down and not getting hit. Like it's
you know
sad.
what? He's keeping away with the jab. That jab is really, really keeping Mike away.
Dude, he's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Everybody's just watching the fight.
he looks real fucking tired. Like,
wow.
I'm gonna see if I can watch it on my phone.
By round 2, he looked tired.
Oof.
He looks tired.
Like real tired. Like,
oh shit! I gotta sign in.
This was bad.
This is the most interesting live stream ever. Everyone's on their phone watching the fight.
Yeah. Will it work?
Oh Lord, he's just.
We're down to 12 people. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, man.
Man.
All right. So, did anybody watch anything new?
New?
I started watching The Diplomat.
The Diplomat.
I've been watching season 2 of what's it called, Shrinking, on Apple. That's a funny show, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
think
I got some bad. So like me and my sons, we love the Into the Spider-Verse series.
Yeah.
So so I just found out that they pushed it back. So it might be like they're having trouble with I don't know what they're having trouble with, but like so now it's supposed to come out next year. And apparently they pushed it back to 2027, which is kind of crazy.
Damn.
Yeah. And it makes you wonder now. I don't want to get political or anything like that, but do you feel like this is going to change the outcome of movies and the way TV is shown? Just because of the fact that the DEY thing that whatever it was called isn't really going to be enforced as much as it was during these last maybe 4 or 5 years.
That's a good question. I really don't see Hollywood not doing what they do, which is what they really want to do, right? Like if it's an initiative for them, I feel like they'll continue to push on it. They might not push on it as heavy because the pendulum always swings both ways, right?
Yeah.
But, like it's one of those to where it is interesting with how many reshoots Snow White did.
Yeah.
And like that. And that was before the election that, they were struggling with that. I honestly feel like Hollywood's at this place, right, where people are just trying to keep their jobs and they're trying to figure out like, how do I,
well,
I'm going to have half the world mad at me one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's tough.
Well, and it got to the point where they don't want to take any risks to do anything. Yeah. So you have to have established franchise, they have to have established talent, they have to establish everything.
Yeah.
So that's why they don't make anything new. They don't want to make no risks.
So Matt, did your wife like The Acolyte?
She didn't watch it. We never watched it.
Wow,
the last one we watched. The last one we watched was the one with Rosario Dawson.
And that just shows you like the Mandalorian. The first 2 seasons were amazing.
It was fantastic. Yeah.
I fell asleep episode 1, season 2 of The Mandalorian, and never watched it again.
Really?
Yeah.
And we actually really like the Obi-Wan. We really like that one. Okay. I know a lot of people weren't a huge fan, but we really like that little series, little side series.
I didn't
to be
mind,
fair, I don't watch Star Wars, so I'm a bad person.
Yeah. And I didn't mind like the Marvel stuff, like the Winter Soldier and the new Captain America. I actually like that one a lot. And what was the one before? Scarlet Witch? The Scarlet Witch was amazing.
Yeah, that was an interesting show. As soon as they started bringing in timelines, I was out, man. I didn't give a shit about that. I think that's what ruined Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Yeah,
like, that was annoying as shit. The plot of that movie is idiotic. Like, it's awful.
Deadpool versus Wolverine was really all over the place.
Yeah.
It was really all over it was just trying to appease as many people as they possibly could, which I can respect, but it was also all over the place. I enjoyed it because I'm a fan, but I knew that it was all over the place. I'm just like, where are we going? Where are we?
So
how do you guys just wanted that interaction, but the story was just so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
How do you feel about Henry Cavill being the new Wolverine?
I mean, I think that he's it's one of those where it's so hard to play Superman. It's so hard. It's like playing Batman, dude. It's so hard. And now, as we've seen, it's damn near impossible to play Joker, like for more than a movie. It's just like, it'll be interesting to see because we've only had Hugh Jackman, right?
Yep.
And if somebody could, maybe it's him. I don't know. But also, it's like, I feel like, Hugh Jackman had like all of these opportunities where he got to be with the young X-Men, he got to be with the old X-Men, he got to tell the story of Wolverine coming and becoming Wolverine, and Wolverine dying as Wolverine, which no other Wolverine got to tell. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's going to be the biggest issue that he's going to have in his career as Wolverine, if that becomes a multiple movie kind of thing, is that you have to go up against this person that got to become, live, die as Wolverine. And it's like there's all of these movies and all of these different storylines and timelines that you got to share with Hugh Jackman being Wolverine.
It's frustrating because he was the perfect Superman.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. He really was. He was the best Superman that's ever been created. But yet the time period just was not right for Superman.
So over Christopher Reeves?
I mean, yeah, like for us in the modern day, I don't think that I ever really got a chance to appreciate Christopher Reeves. I just wasn't old enough for it. But I think that like for my parents and stuff like that, Christopher Reeves was probably a great Superman. But that was also a timeline where that was, like the baby boomers, they got to really get engaged with those comics and those stories. And I think that it was a little bit less for our generation where we grew up with Batman and we grew up with the X-Men a lot more.
My only issue with that also is the fact that they the comics already written. All you have to do is take the comic and put them on the screen.
Yeah.
The money's already made. You don't have to add your spin at all.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point, but I think too that like if there wasn't a spin, people would. It's about appeasing as many people as possible too, right? Like there would be people that would love it because of the fact that they would follow the storyline, and that would be the core comic book nerds. And then there would be people that would be upset because of the fact that they didn't make them updated towards like a more modern kind of thing, right? I don't know.
It's like Black Panther.
Catch 22.
like I didn't watch Black Panther 2 because I felt like they should have had Michael B. Jordan beat Black Panther.
Now, did that happen in the comic?
He does wear the suit.
He wears the suit.
He wears the suit. So
even though he's the antagonist in the first one, he becomes the protagonist, basically.
Well, you gotta understand, at the end of the movie, T'Challa shows him Wakanda. And he's like, wow. And they have the technology to heal him.
Mm.
So they could have did that, had technology to, and it could have kind of brought back the whole family.
But woman power is strong.
Big
movie power. Big gotta
but here's the thing. They had the woman power with the bald head chicks.
Yeah.
With the bald head chicks.
Yeah.
Yep, they did. Already was there.
It was already there. It was
check that box. Yeah, gotta do it more though.
Hey man, that pendulum swings, but I'll tell you what, it goes all the way over to the other side first.
Yeah, and to me, it kind of killed it because you know he tried to cover his tracks, and the director said, "Oh, I didn't want it that way. I wanted to do it a whole different way."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and
he was like, "No, but you could have said something and said you're not going to direct it if it's this way."
Mm-hmm.
So
Ape saying that it's cold out there in DFW.
But yeah, listen. You want cold? Bring that up here to the northeast. You'll feel cold.
I mean,
Newark is a different type of cold.
It's chilly. Yeah. What is it right now?
Well, up here is 47 up here right now.
We're 55. You know, it's not terrible.
We're 44. I don't want to hear any of y'all.
Oh no, but it's like 44 is nice. It's actually not that bad out there.
It feels like 49. Okay. It's cold.
What? It's not bad. It's 44.
No, I was chilling, man. Yo, I had on a hoodie, man. Vegas.
Yeah, that was last week, bro, when it was 70.
Listen,
hey, it's 51 here. It's 51 degrees here.
Yeah,
in SoCal.
You know, there was a 22 mile per hour wind earlier tonight. It felt like 44 all day, even when it was 65.
Hey, so you know what? But listen, man, you're spoiled out there in SoCal, though, man.
Yeah, like you're over here talking about your cigar storage. Like, you leave them on the table.
Like, you don't get no snow.
We barely get rain.
Yeah.
We barely get anything. So we get earthquakes. That's it, and that happens like once every 20 years, where there's a bad
even
one.
then, it's like, all right,
yeah.
No,
it's like, wait a second. All right, it's gone.
And it's gone.
Yeah. Just cracked my back.
We haven't got rain in like 3 weeks.
What? Really? In Newark?
Yeah. It's bad.
We didn't get rain for like 4 months.
Yeah. Like,
we were rain for 4 years.
Yeah, right.
We got a lot of rain last year.
You got people with lawns that are made out of rocks now. Like that's so much of Riverside and Southern California.
Yeah.
They all bulldoze their lawn and it's rocks.
You want to know
which is my grandma's house.
Fugly.
My neighbor across the street took out their rocks and put fake grass in their front yard.
Wow. I mean, it looks better than rocks.
It does. It does.
You can throw the ball on turf, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guys, we're at 2.5 hours. I think we can call that a live stream. But thanks for hopping on, dude. That was
Matt. Thank you so much. It let me get my wrestling nerd out, like because you guys seen I'm still a wrestling fan. I still watch, I still watch Raw and SmackDown every week. I don't watch a lot of AEW because my problem with I didn't want to say it's the Taz, but the guys do get hurt a lot, and there's a lot of rookie, like a lot of mistakes that aren't really clean. So, but they're still an up and coming company. So I don't watch a lot of AEW, and the stuff that I do watch, from them, like they'll have talent that's like super over, and they won't capitalize on it. So I feel like they make like little, but they're still a young company, so they still have time. They have the money. The owner's a billionaire, so they're gonna be around for a very, very long time. And next week I'm gonna be watching Survivor Series. So
nice.
I'm gonna be
glad to have you, dude. It was nice to wrap it up with you too after Big Smoke, because I didn't get a chance to hang with you that often.
Yeah, man.
And I'm sorry that I didn't make the dinner either the following night.
Yeah, because
I felt weird. Yeah. I felt weird because Sanj invited me, but then like we didn't talk throughout the day, and I was just like, man, I feel like it's like a team dinner.
No, you're part of the team, part of the family.
I know, but it's just was weird,
fuck you, Peter.
Is Peter still watching?
Yeah, my motherfucker.
Yeah, dude.
Peter's still out there. What up, Pete? I know that he had hung up. He's in the fishing tent right now, chilling, bro. It's probably 85 in that fishing tent.
Yeah. If he's smoking, yeah, for sure. But thanks guys for hopping on. Thank you to the Human Suplex Machine, Taz, for his time. That was a fun fucking live stream. That was a fucking fun live.
Yeah,
that fight was god awful. I hear.
So boring.
Yes, it was.
You know what?
Who won? Was it Jake Paul? Jake Paul. Okay.
It was him with a mannequin. Like that was it.
It was a lot like the Tyson versus Roy Jones fight, except for the fact that Tyson was Roy Jones and Jake Paul was Tyson this time.
Or even better description, Tyson versus Lennox Lewis.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he did nothing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But you know what's gonna happen? Some just freshly retired guy is gonna fight Jake Paul now to avenge Tyson.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing: is that Jake Paul was talking about Canelo. I don't think he's gonna get a Canelo fight, but I really hope that he does, because I feel like there needs to be a professional boxer in the same age range to show him what's up.
Yeah.
You know what? Fight fucking Bivol. Fight Bivol. Fight Demetrius Bivol.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. Demetrius can do it.
Bivol will be like he stole something, man.
Yeah. I mean,
fucking
just somebody
fight
like
another
that.
Tyson.
Yeah.
Fight another Tyson. Tyson Fury.
Well, the youngest brother beat him. The one loss he has was against Tommy Fury, and Tommy Fury.
Tommy Fury already beat him. So But I just think that there needs to be the Tommy Fury one wasn't as bad as I think Canelo Alvarez or somebody who's like a top tier boxer would knock him the fuck out. That's really what I want. Just end this. End this match.
Yeah. End the pain.
But I would say this. He doesn't have his skills haven't really been tested. That's the problem.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I have an immense amount of respect for the fact that he said, you know what, now that I've made all of my money and I don't need to worry about just doing YouTube or just doing whatever platform I'm going to get kicked off on, and I've done plenty of rug pulls on all of my fans and stuff like that, just like his older brother. He basically said, I'm going to commit and devote all of my time into being as good of a boxer as I possibly can be.
Yeah.
That I was fine with, and I was behind it. The problem was he won all of these exhibition wannabe bouts against people that were either like Mike Tyson, too far past their prime, or weren't full-time boxers like he dedicated himself to be. And then he was like, I want the champ. And now it's like, okay, you know what? You want the champ. You believe that you've made this amazing progress in 4 or 5 years. Boxing takes a little bit longer than that. Please let Canelo Alvarez just shut this down. Right now.
You know what? You know what wouldn't be bad? Fucking De La Hoya.
Yeah.
De La Hoya can tear his ass up.
But I mean, once again, we're going on a fringe where it's is that guy, if he doesn't do a couple of bumps and stuff like that, is he going to be as mindless in the ring as Tyson?
You're right.
You know?
Yeah.
And put on some pantyhose?
current De La Hoya, I don't see him being effective whatsoever. Like,
no,
nah.
get somebody in their prime around the same age as Jake Paul just to stop this. Because I mean, like, Jake Paul doesn't need to do this shit anymore. He really doesn't. I mean, like, he's not gonna win a world title. I'm sorry. He might think that he is, but he's not. Like, just send him to the dogs, bro. Let's do this. Let's stop with all this silliness.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna go inside.
All right,
I gotta use the restroom.
Matt, DJ,
boys.
We got to schedule that for one day.
Let's link it up.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
All right, guys.
I really
appreciate it. Have a good one, guys. See ya.